couple of minutes. But what I really want to do right now is I want to have you for a couple of minutes, just kind of talk. First of all, tell us who you are, okay? But I want you to talk about when you're going RVP, okay? And why you believe. And again, you can talk about whatever you want. What you think everybody needs to do to start building some momentum like you. And look, and this is why I'm showing you these guys, okay? Is because these guys and gals are the ones that are creating massive synergy in the hierarchy right now. I mean, think about this for a second. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, $60,000 in production came from this group of people right here. So what I'm trying to get you to see is that when you have momentum makers, okay, these are momentum makers. When you have people that are creating momentum, those are the people that are the catalyst to a great base shot. So you got to continually ask yourself, am I going to be that catalyst for my team? Now, do you got to do 10 grand for the rest of your life? No, I don't believe you do. But I do believe for the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years, you need to put together a run, and I'll talk about it when I'm done. When I'm in my talk today, I'll talk about that a little bit. But when you get on your run and lead from the front, you're going to create momentum because these guys have pretty good base shops right now. These guys are starting to build base shops. They're starting to build teams. And that's what every one of you needs to do if you're going to be successful here in Primerica. I hope you slept well, Mark. Great job last night, man.
You too, man.
To have you back. All right, tell us a little bit about why you're excited. When you go on RVP. First of all, when you go on RVP?
As soon as possible.
As soon as possible. All right, so one of the things that I want to make sure you understand is that you always got to have, and this is everybody, you got to have a specific date. You always got to have, when you have your goals, you always got to have a specific cutoff date that says, I'm going to do it by this time, I'm going to do it, okay? All right, so when do you think, in the next 6 months, in the next 12 months, when do you think that you'll do what it takes to become an RVP?
Hopefully within 6 months.
All right. And so
I need to get to our regional first.
You need to get to regional. Well, you'll be there, no doubt in my mind. You'll get there. But so tell me, what do you think that you did last month, or the several months? You've been very, very consistent. What are you doing right now that's creating so much synergy, so much excitement on your team?
I guess it's just focus. I guess that's the only thing I can think of right now. Because there'll be challenges. People you set up appointments, they'll cancel on you and stuff like that. But it's just the focus that you want to achieve a goal. To get to that goal, you really need to get focused. So I guess that's the only thing I can say. With me and NIMFA, we always think of if we really need to get to this point, we really need to go for it. Okay, I mean. Sometimes, I admit, I already talked about it. Sometimes I get down when some of the instances that you get canceled or they don't show up or you go there and they're not there. That happens, okay? But just the focus. That's the only thing I can think of that really gives us the drive, to continue. So.
Well, we're very proud.
Well, that's the NIMFA.
Sorry, I'm so sorry.
Right now.
Oh, you got it.
My husband Eddie's yeah, for us it's just commitment. We're committed to help our friends. My husband, he had 3 classmates die this year of different causes, so we're committed to helping. We're turning almost 40, so we're helping a lot of our friends. I'm committed to helping my kids get a better education. My oldest son wants to be a doctor, so I'm saving for him a lot. And just committed to building a business for me and my family. And just every month, one time we made $15,000 1,000 in 1 month, the next month 1,000. So, I mean, it pulls you down, but just commitment, keep going, and we're right up on track again. And RVP, right after our outline, Daddy said he'll go RVP in 3 months.
All right, so I want you guys to know, this is like, these guys are the top. No, I'm gonna save you for last. I'm gonna save you.
So we're going RVP April 30th?
Yeah, but now since you announced the March event, we're pushing it back early.
And I think the momentum that we had, we weren't expecting, honestly, we didn't start the month saying, oh, we're going to do 10K. We just had two and a half fired up recruits that were just setting up appointments. And we've been in this for 3 years, so trust me, we are well prepared to go on appointments. We just weren't going on appointments. And I don't know if a lot of you guys had that problem. So we had that problem, but we had a couple, and they weren't even direct recruits. They were building a team. And we ended up hitting like 5,000 like by the 5th or the 6th. I'm like, wow, that's a record for us. And then we hit 6 and 7. And I'm like, man, we can really hit 10K. And then you guys really motivated us because we saw like newer people that been here less than a year, like that were hitting 10K, and it's the environment. That's what Rhonda was talking about. We're at Rhonda Rodriguez and Tanya Searcy's base shop. And we've never seen that environment of people doing 10K. And when you see newer people do it, it fires you up as someone that's been here. And we just kept on climbing, not expecting to hit 10K. And then when Ron was like, you know, you can hit 10K, it started becoming an environment in our office, like you can hit 10K. But we hit 10K, not like we surpassed 10K. And I think that was the most exciting part. Is just like we surpassed it. We didn't wait till the 30th. Like we hit 10K like on the 20th or something like that. And we still hit. We ended up at 11, and base was 20. So like it was just kind of like records for us. But I think it was just recruits. Like it wasn't. That's what really kept the momentum. I know we were on the appointments, but the recruits is really what had the energy because they kept on setting up those appointments, and we just kept on closing them. So I think it's just a team effort on the energy and everything. I think
saying that you recruited, right?
Yeah, we were.
That's a clue, by the way. I got to recruit people, okay? So you guys recruit, and then you train the people. That's a clue. You actually trained the new recruits, right? You got them going. And they set up at 1 buck. I can't. This is all new stuff, man. This is new stuff, man. So, and so tell us a little bit about partnership and kind of what your role is.
Well, I like it that at the women's event, anybody that was at the women's event, like we are co-CEOs. We run this business together. And there was an affirmation which I got from the retreat that you said, no, like, as a leader, no, I lead by example, and I inspire the masses by consistently recruiting 5 directs a month and 12 personal cases. And I kept telling myself and writing it down every day until it became a reality, and then just breathing it into our partnership, into our team that, no, it was this environment and seeing other people do it. Like, no, we do it. We dialed into what it was our why. It's like, why are we fighting for this business? To the point where even just thinking about it for a second, it makes me want to break down in tears. And that's when everything changed for us.
And I went full-time, that changed everything.
Yeah.
Last month I went full-time, and then we go regional. We hit 5,000 in income, and we hit 10K, all in 1 month. And I went full-time that month. So I think that had a big part of it. As far as our partnership, I think it's a mercy.
Yeah.
When she said, she's just like, don't figure out your roles, just go out there and both you guys do it. Like we actually locked on to that.
That was the best thing
Because we
anybody
were trying to
could
figure
have
out roles, and it just like it was real hard. But she's very strong. I'm very strong. When she said that, I was just like, that's it.
That's all we need.
Let's do it. That's where we're at right now.
That's it.
Awesome. What's up, buddy?
Jonathan's my name. Just want to thank my girlfriend for putting up with my bullshit a lot. Because really, without her, I wouldn't be able to do any of this stuff. Just because she kind of provides the home sleeping and food. Because sometimes, I mean, primarily it's tough sometimes, and sometimes there's no income coming in. So I think that fires me up to actually go out and get it done. But in September, I went 0. And I had a talk with Danny, and chewed me out. He chewed out my dad. He chewed me out, and I don't know, it was like a wake-up call. It was like, what am I doing? And I don't know if you guys have a partner, if anybody goes full-time and your partner still has a job, and then you get like that feeling where like you're not providing enough, and she kind of like, well, my friend's obviously a woman, so I felt like she was being the man in the relationship, and that shit killed me, dude. And I was going insane. And then plus with Daniel chewing me out, and then I had Claudia to inspire, and I'm out here selling her the dream, oh, we're gonna make it. Like she's not seeing me getting any results, and then just telling everybody that I'm doing these things, and then they're making fun of me, and I mean everybody mocks you, and everybody laughs at you, and I was like, look, you hear it all the time. You just have to sell out, and you just got to get it done. There's no secret. You hear everybody saying the same thing, right? You want appointments. I want appointments just like you do. I get dark outs just like you guys do. And mainly, I did 10 grand, and she ended up doing 5. I did 10 grand, so I would have did anything. Like that, you do it, then people are going to do half. And I'm not saying that, you're not, you could do 10 grand, but it's the truth, Like you got to set the standard high, and now last night when, people started seeing me get all these recognition and all that, they're going to make it happen. And that's how you start, right? We're getting momentum, and nobody ever knows about, oh, man, what are you doing? We're in prospecting. I just talk to people, right? And I just open my mouth. Right? Because if you don't open your mouth, how are you going to grow your business? And the main thing was just talking about what you're going to do and reading. And I know Daniel's really big on self-improving. And if you're not going to self-improvement, I don't even know why you're doing that. It's like the biggest self-improvement program you can ever do. And one thing I've learned is that whatever you believe becomes your reality. And I had to convince myself that I was able to do 10 grand. And then not only that, I had to convince myself that I'm a $100,000 earner. So I'm always talking about that stuff in front of clients. But I'm on pace to do 100,000 in the next 12 months. Because everybody can be on pace for the next 12 months. Yeah. So I'm always talking about that. I was at 0 the second week of October. I'm on pace to do 10 grand, I'm on pace to do 10 grand. And I'm thinking, oh my God, do 10 grand. But I was at 0, but I had to convince myself that I was doing it. And it's like, look, hey, you write it down. Write it down. Because when you write that, you see it. And when your results don't match up to what you're writing, it pisses me off. And then the Nista guys, I think, man, I hated those guys last night. They were, Frank, were they barely licensed, like the 13th of September, and still doing 10 grand? Dude, I want to murder these guys. That's why I got motivated to do it, mainly because of those. Thank you, Fernando.
Actually, my wife wants me to be quiet so she can talk. Actually, the biggest deal here is partnership. You really got to be committed. I mean, we have a great partner. We know our roles. She tells me what to do anyway. It works. We have to do this for our team. They have to see you produce. You're trying to sell the dream. You are selling the dream. But if they don't see you actually doing the numbers, they don't see you get recognized, they're not going to realize that you're special, so why would they follow you? This whole thing is about leadership, so you have to give them something to do. They want you to learn, they want to follow something exactly successful. So it's important to you to be successful for yourself, so you can develop a team, you can grow people. Other than that, I mean, this is a full-time business. I mean, all we do is called commitment. I mean, we leave in the morning, or we should come at 8 or 9 in the morning, we're back by 10. We get home at 10 o'clock. It's early. We're like, man, we got time. Good, let's go to training. But we're normally home 11, 12, 1 o'clock in the morning. That's normal for us. We do it for our children. We love our children. We want to give them a great life. And this is the sacrifice we have to make right now. And let's face it, 5 years of sacrifice. Everyone here is so young. And we all have 5 years. We all have 10 years. We've got to get to work now, or you're not going to make that change. You're not going to make that difference. You're not going to be able to be in a position like Daniel and Mark Oscar back there. I mean, that's going to be good to us. Okay? So that's what we do. It's all we do.
Big Jake. Morning. How are you doing? Great. You guys want to be the best?
Yes.
To be the best, you have to we have the best coach in the world, right? Obviously, Daniel trained and us. And you can imagine, if Daniel throw it out there, he said, you got to do 10K. And then it's just like lie, right? We caught it. Got it, right? Be the best, that's it. That's it. You got to do 10,000 every single time. So this is actually what you do. This is actually what you do, right? You recruit, okay? You train them, you train them, you train them like crazy. And then you get them licensed. And then you do the same process again. You recruit, right? In July, I decided, right before that, things come up your way and then things don't look good. But if you just decide you can do it, you decide you believe that you can do it, right? July, we decided. We did not even think about any contest. I just said, you know what, practice going on. I'm just going to decide to work. So from that time on, July, right, we averaged 5 recruits every single month. We've never done that in our life, but we decided. We believe we can do it, right? And then again, I don't know if I said this, we eat, we breathe, right? We sleep $10,000 every single month. That was it for us, right? I mean, there's days that I'm sick, right? Somebody calls me, hey, I want life to, I'm well. My wife sees me on the bed, like, what's going on with you, right? We go out there, right? Once, I mean, we're really literally sick, right? And then we write languages, I get well. Right? So again, there's nothing else. There's nothing else. If you come to Primerica, right, you're not here to get the most knowledge you can get, right? In fact, I don't recommend that. You just don't keep coming and and don't produce, right? It's not. See, with us, with me and my wife, it was just all too much, right? Daniel said, do this, you just say like this, right? Like the bubble. If you're the number one person who can actually do this all the time, you're gonna win. There's no way you're not gonna win. Yeah. That's it. That's it.
That he didn't say is that Jake Santos makes good money every single month. He's been full-time for a few years now and is one of those people that, look, I mean, one of the hardest parts to become an RVP in Primerica, I mean, we can say, let's go RVP, but one of the hardest parts is finding what? A replacement. That's your hardest part, to go to RVP. I mean, so you can be really, really good, but if that good guy doesn't get in with you, right away, it might take a little while. So I always kind of figured, look, if it takes me a little while, I might as well go out there and personally produce and get paid. I mean, they do securities, right? They do a lot of securities. They do a lot of life insurance. They do a lot of recruiting. He was the #1 personal recruiter in the entire place last night. So I want you guys to know. So they were #1 personal recruiting, #1 personal life, and they make money. We should have had a cash flow category. They probably would have been top on that too. They always make money. They're always personally consistent. Always consistent. That's why they stay in. The reason why your people quit is because they don't make any money. Because you just tell them to go recruit. Go recruit, but you don't tell them to produce. So if you recruit, and your recruits just happen to not be the greatest recruits yet, or you just you find a batch of duds, right? You ever on 4th of July ever done firecrackers before? Right? You're like, oh man, a dud, right? I mean, you recruit a whole pack of recruits, there's going to be duds in there. Okay, and sometimes the whole pack might be a dud. So that's why I consistently tell our people to produce, because I at least want you to sell to survive. Okay? You recruit to retire. Of course we always recruit. And by the way, the reason why he wrote the most personal premium is because he recruited the most people. If you recruit the most people, you're going to have the most people to train. Now, what could happen if you recruit a bunch of those people? Some of those people may not decide to do anything, but at least you trained them. at least you made money. I always felt like if I recruited somebody, I needed to go train them in their warm market to pay me back for recruiting them. Really, that's the way I used to think. And I used to give them everything I had. I used to work with them. I used to treat them good. I used to build a relationship with them. I trained them really, really well. And I was hoping that they would get good. But if they didn't get good and they quit on me, at least I'd have a whole downline of recruits that I recruited for them that possibly could be future studs, right or wrong? Right. And that's what I thought about all the time. And one day, you will find your explosion. One day you will find somebody who comes in your business and wants to do some great... And look, I mean, it all comes down to one of these days, you're going to find somebody that loves Primerica like you do. So you got to ask yourself, how much do you love Primerica? Really, I mean, you got to really deep down inside ask yourself, how much do I love this business? Because you won't find somebody that loves Primerica more than you. Right? If you want to find somebody good, you got to love it the most, and then that's how you're going to attract those people. That's how they're going to get attracted to your business. So, so we have one last one, Clenista.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. I did. I got your last name right. When you become a real stud, then we'll really know.
So what's the question again? About the 10K.
How'd you do it? How'd you do it? Yeah.
You're just giving us more ammo to take you out.
They all want to take you out. They all want.
2 months? Because I'm back to back.
Jake told me last night that there's no way that you'll beat them in top personal production between now and March. He said no way you can have it.
I'm not in any competition. I just want to say seriously. Like, what's going on is like, just to give you an idea, we joined a company last week of July, and then trained August, September, got licensed, September 10, and then we have a couple of appointments. What happened is we keep on closing it with the help of my trainer, Luis, and then we finally hit. He said like we're on the ninth grand. Okay, we will do the 10K. So what's this? So what I'm saying, what is that? You'll have a jacket. So let's go for it. So at that time, he was correct. Oh, what's your name, sir? Exactly. I just want to say to you that you need to recruit in order for you to have. It's easy for you to close business, to close life insurances. Okay. So you need to recruit. It's because what will happen is you have two. One is for your recruit, helping them in their training, and at the same time getting your production. So that's correct. It's easier to do if you're two rather than one. Right. It's easier. Would you correct me? It's better to have 1% of 100 rather than giving your 100% by yourself. Yeah. Makes sense. So what happened is my wife and I hit that September as a 10K, and then the following month we added like a couple of recruits also who are like fired up also, I would say, because our recruit is kind of far. It's not only here. I go to Orange County, LA area, and then I follow up with them. Okay, so this last month, I don't know, it's like 14 or 13 Frank on the computer.
Yeah. 14.
So it's like a back-to-back. So it's kind of, so what I'm saying, it's easy if you have recruiting people. And I just want to mention what Daniel mentioned to us, that it's not only to recruit them, you need to follow up with them because they might give up to you in the first, especially on the first appointment. If you don't close business for them, they're gonna give up on you. Okay. So what happened was, like in my case, so it's like 14 last month, and this month, my plan is that, okay, Neil was challenging me, okay, Fernando, you need to do 10K right now. So you'll be the first in our base shop to do 3 times in a row. But what would be more important to me is that my downline It would be better for me just to have maybe like a 5K if all of my downlines will be district leaders at the end of the month.
Right.
It's success, as I've said, success is not what you accomplish in life. It's what you inspire other people to do.
Let our heavy hitters, all right? We got the number one, come on, stand up here, guys. Stand up here. We got the number one regional leaders in the world. Why are you so excited? Where do you see the future primarily?
I think Boca.
Did you say think Boca?
No, I said Boca.
Okay. I thought I heard. Okay, sorry.
I think you just gotta take ownership and look at this business as really as a business. You know, you gotta look at it as a whole. You know, so in order for you to get an office like this, become an RVP, NSD or NSD, right? There's no secret, you know, you gotta build a big team. So because you could personally produce, like the 10K that we do, I just want to show them that, hey man, if you do a 10K, I'm gonna do 10K with you guys. But 10K is sort of like just an accident, just training a lot of people, so recruiting, and then training them. 10K comes like easy, you know, and I was telling him that he could do a base production of, you know, like a massive base production this month, just based on the recruits that he had, and they have code. I'm so excited because these guys, they're coding people. It's crazy. Before, we never thought about coding. It's always like recruit and premium, we're all excited, but there's other part. You train them, but then you gotta code them. So if you up their coding, it's like, it'll be hard for your production to go down.
Right.
Because those people, when you get coded, all you gotta do is say, I need you to make money. I'm gonna help you to make money, right? I need to get you to district leader. So you're looking out, if you're licensed, you're looking at 2,000 in your pocket. I don't ever have to ask you to come to the meeting. I don't ever have to ask you or show you that this business works, right? So if I show them how to make money, right, they're gonna stick around. So I think last month we have like #1 team cash. Right?
That's right, 2 months in a row.
2 months in a row. So if I made all that cash, do you think I'll have team?
No.
No, right? But everybody made cash, right? Everybody made money. That's what's so excited about it, because so you got to look at it as a business. You sacrifice though. There's only one thing you sacrifice. It's your time. That's it. You don't sacrifice money. I don't put money into this business. I don't have expenses. I sacrifice my time to build a big business. Think about it. You paid $99. That's it. And then you're able to build a massive business and potentially like this or even more. So you have to look at it. So everything that you put in all the time, don't bitch about it because it'll pay off. You know what I mean? So everything you have to do, I gotta do that, I gotta do. No, after that, you just gotta put that aside and just gotta go build your business. Right. That's what you gotta do. And complete focus and build leaders, right? It's not a catchphrase you're saying. You actually do it, you know? You like them, look, I have nothing to do with like these guys. All I did was I trained Luis, and I'm not gonna take credit for it. You know, I went out with them, I went out with the Canises a couple of times. I never went out with Derek. I think Janice did. These guys were taught by Luis, which I showed them the business. That's what's amazing. You just and Eddie and Carlene is my direct, and they got other people, and they're like, they coded. I have no idea. So many people. I think like that pushed us to the #1 future. You know, I'm like, I don't want to go #1 future because everybody's gunning for you, right? I don't want to deliver a speech in front of like thousands. and then someone says, oh, you know, you're not going to be. That's part of what you have to do. I want to deliver a speech for #1 when I'm like RVP, not like when I'm like, you know, below RVP. That's what we want to do. when I've made it in RVP and it made sense and it counts, you know. The only time it counts is, you know, RVP, you built a business, that's it. I don't know. So don't bitch about your time, whatever you gotta do, okay? So that means constant activity, calling people. You know, you definitely want to stay in a warm market. But if you got nothing going on there, try to create other ways you can get to it. You know, I recruited my brother. He's from farmers. I sold. Remember here? Okay, so my brother, my mom owns a farmer's business. Okay, farmer's insurance. My brother's been working with my mom for 5 years, and I got into this business. That's the reason why I had $700 worth of, you know, cash value, because of all that. Every company she went to, I was the first client. You know, it's like this is life insurance investment. So, you know, I'm thinking about, like, it's investment. That's how I'm going to retire, right? So I was the first client. That's how it was $700 a month. And
For 7 years.
And then he was working with my mom, and he was trying to get licensed. Never got licensed. And then I got in this business. You know, Dr. Bautista showed me this business. I got him in, and like within the first 2 months, we got him licensed, and he went right back to farmers and do farming. I'm like, you don't make any sense. I said, trust me. A year from now, you're gonna everything I'm telling you right now is right, because if you're a farmer's agent, you own your own office, you're an employee of farmers. You don't own farmers. I said, in your office, how many licensed? Who's the licensed person in your office? It's like me. So let's just say you're really good, right? You close it, and they have a quota, like you have to close 40 cars and 10 lives every month or something like that, and then get paid $3,000. I said, that's Bob, you know. It's like, where's your, like, okay. Because I don't see it. Like, I do not see it, you know. So I said, you're the only licensed. I don't care how good you are, right? You can be a good salesperson, closing business like crazy, right? Said, all I do is, I'm not that good. I'm just gonna get a whole bunch of people licensed, and I'm gonna be giant, and I'm gonna annihilate you. I don't care if you do 10 sales. I got like 50 people licensed. I don't care. We all do 2 each. We killed you. You know, you can never make more money than I do, right? Everything I built here is mine. Yours, farmers own you, right? There's nothing you can't compare. You can't compare the two. Business standpoint, this makes sense. You know, it's like, who are you gonna follow, right? I'm not trying to knock my mom, but my mom's smart. My mom's smart. Always been a business, you know, entrepreneur. You know, she's done great, right? But look, you know, listen, you know, that I'm successful in nursing. I'm not successful here, but I know where I'm going, man. You gotta follow me, right? So I can recruit him to his farmers, right? So I recruited his wife. And then farmers, you know, the stupidest thing they've ever done in the world is that they started advertising. So they raised all the premiums, losing clients like this. I said, I see an opportunity. I recruited her. Here's what we're going to do. All the clients that fall out of your business, book of business, we're going to call all of them, okay? We're going to call all of them. We're going to and then the speech, it goes like this. Okay, so let's just say, what's your name? Mario. Hey, you know, I'm sorry to race I've raced, and you know, you decided to go somewhere else. Look, I own a car insurance broker. I own a brokerage. I'm gonna have one of my guys call you, see if we can save you some money. Cool? Yeah. All right, good. And then, how many? They closed about 19 cars in the last month. Look it up on POL.
In 17 days.
In 17 days. 17 days. Okay? That's how great our car business insurance is. We don't have the market. She has the market. I said, you know, I'm like, to that, I'm tapping into this. This business is amazing. It's everything. It's got not like, you know, it's not just recruiting, premium. You know. Look, you can go get recruits. We recruited a couple people just through the auto insurance. So like now they save money. Then now what you gotta do? These are steps, okay? This is not like, oh no, we're done. And so you call them and say, how'd it go? They were able to save money. Hey, they call them and say, would you mind if I come over and see if we can save you money on other areas of what we do, right? Are they going to be resistant? Like, no, don't come over. They're going to be. They're going to be like, oh, yeah, come over, right? Then it's going to be, when you go in, it's like warm, right? Even though it wasn't warm then, now you come in, it's warm because I saved you money, didn't I? Right? And then you can be open, when I do a presentation, you can be open to everything that I'm offering to you. Right? You can get recruits through that way. You can recruit in any way, shape, or form. You just got to go do it. I don't know. That's it.
Wow. Is that exciting, though? Yeah. That's a big deal right there. Right? Yeah. You know, one of the things that just keeps going through my mind is that you just got to get creative, you know. You got to, you know. I don't know if Mahia's here. Ray and Deanna, are you guys here this morning? Ray is a police officer. He set up a group presentation with his with the police officers, and I actually went out to a gun range to do the group presentation. It was loud, right? So, but I sat out there like for 3 days, just picking up names and numbers. We did like little powwows, 10, 12 guys and gals, sitting there, and I did a little brief presentation on, who we are and what we do. And I just picked up cards, and then the next few days we just called the cards, and every single one of them said, yeah, come on over. We said, hey, look, we'll probably save you guys some money and teach you more about your deferred comp and stuff. Are you open to learning about, that kind of stuff? And of course, they all said yes, and we sit down with them, and it's really easy because LAPD has the worst life insurance known to man. Okay? The worst life insurance. Number one, once they retire, it's gone. They lose it. Okay, and most of these guys retire at like 50. Okay, so you retire at 50, you lose your life insurance. So whenever you get sick or something like that, between now and the time you retire, then the day you retire, you don't have life insurance anymore. So it's really, really bad. Plus the rates are not really good. There's Ray right there. So hey Ray, how you doing? We're just talking about you, man. And so we did that, and Ray ended up doing over 10,000 in personal production last month. Right? So I mean, you find a way. Ray, there's a seat up here for you. And so what you try to do is you try to get creative. When I was growing up in the business trying to get this thing going, I went through a little slump, and so I got in the phone book and I started cold call. I cold called for an entire month. I mean, every single day, Monday through Friday, I cold called every business that I knew that I wouldn't talk to the owner. That's what I was looking for. So I called like Payless Shoe Store. Right? And I talked to the manager because I know he didn't own Payless Shoe Store. And I called only 1 month. I recruited like 5 directs that month. I never had to cold call ever again. Because all I did was I took these new recruits, I got them off to a fast start, they set up a bunch of appointments for me. And I went to go see their brothers, their sisters, their aunts, uncles. It was a piece of cake. I never had to worry about money ever again. Okay, I did a few group presentations. My aunt, she was a secretary at LaSalle High School in Pasadena. And we got silver Impala, blue Honda Civic, blue Toyota, silver Cobalt, white Ford Fusion. You might want to move your car because you probably parked in somebody else's reserved spot in the other businesses. So if I just mentioned your car, you might want to go. So before they tow you. All right. So my aunt worked at LaSalle High School in Pasadena. Called up my aunt. I said, set up an appointment with the principal. I want to do a group presentation with all the teachers. So I got in there and I talked to the principal, and he set up a group presentation. I talked to 30 teachers, did 30 appointments, or probably maybe 15 or 20 appointments with the teachers that handed in their cards. And I recruited, 3, 4, 5 people there. Did a ton of rollovers, a ton of securities business. By the way, I was securities licensed within about 3 to 6 months of me being life licensed. So I've always believed in getting securities license. Some of you you need to start believing that too, because you're taking way too long. Some of you guys wait way too long to get securities license. It's a mistake, because I would have never been able to do that group presentation had I not been securities licensed. Not to mention, because I was securities licensed, I've always had good quality of business. So my business stays on the books. I always make money. I've always made money in Primerica. Some people, they write a lot of business, and then it all gets charged back the next month, because you don't connect it with a securities transaction or an auto insurance or something to make sure the business sticks. And so, of course, that helped me. So I called up my coach from high school, baseball coach, and I said, hey, look, man, I want to do a group presentation with their school. He happened to be a principal by then. And I said, hey, will you help me out? Called up my buddy, Kevin Nolan. I said, he worked at Caesar's Pizza at the time. And I said, hey, or was it Caesar's or Pizza Hut? Pizza Hut. And I said, hey, man, can you give me a pizza so I can bring in the group present, So I got all the teachers to show up, because I told them I was going to bring pizza. All right, so all the teachers showed up, did another group presentation. So in my entire career, I've probably done about maybe 5 to 10 presentations, and I cold called for 1 month. And I've never had to look for an appointment ever again in my life. I literally, guys, changed my life, okay? All I did my entire career was recruit people and then train them in their warm market. I never got off that. Art Williams talked about it in 1977. I never got off of that, focus. Right? I knew that it worked. I knew that it was possible if I just did it. And I just did it, and voila, it worked. So you guys are just amazing. You're doing an amazing job, Neil and Janice. And we appreciate you for your inspiration. It's not every day you have the #1 regional leaders in your hierarchy. And we're excited, all right? So, because remember, every one of you guys, you need to step up. It's time for you to step up and go be the #1 people in the hierarchy, because we need more inspirations, okay? We need more people to go out there and start winning so we can just dominate. Realistically, I'm just figuring on, we're going to dominate the top 25 in the state of California. We're just going to kick everybody's asses. Are you guys okay with that? But it's going to say BL, 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 BL. And if you don't have BL on your name, right? You guys can put, it's all right. You can put the little BL on there if you want. Yeah, absolutely, right? Why not? But if you don't have BL after your name on BOL, you need to change it and put BL at the end so that we can track how much we kick their ass. Okay, I want to track how much we kick. And so that way, every time you're sitting down with your new person, right? Now think about how powerful this is, okay? You sit down with your new person and you pull up those leader sheets and you say, look, our team, right? You say my team, right? You can say that. You say my team, our team, look at us. All down the line right there, right? Boom, 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 right? What does that do for you if you're sitting across a kitchen table? Credibility. Everybody wants to be on a winning team, right? I don't watch basketball a lot, but all I know is I'd rather be on the Lakers than the Clippers. Wouldn't you? Yes. Okay? So that's what we need to create here, and we need your help. We need your help. We need your help to help us dominate the state of California. Okay, so with that said, I don't know where Mark is. Is Mark around there somewhere? Okay,
he's coming right now.
All right. We obviously, I don't want to take up any more of his time. I just know that this guy is killing it, and his business is through the roof right now. He's a total inspiration. Good friend of ours for a lot of years. Him and Sandy have always been a couple of our heroes, and what a treat and what an honor it is to hear from and to have at our office the amazing, the incredible Mark Yozipovic.
How are y'all? Great. I just want to first of all say what a thrill it was to be with you last night. That was really impressive. You guys are really kicking some ass, man. You really are. I was saying to Carmen, who brought me here this morning, it just kept coming, all these new licenses. They just kept coming across the stage. You guys are really doing a great job. That's not easy to do, to recruit someone and then get them to want to take the test and get them to take it again when they flunk. And, so you obviously have a great system in place to to move people. And then just to hear you guys are up on stage today, wow, awesome. You guys are doing exactly what you need to do, and things are going to break for you. You know, the thing about Primerica that's strange is that we can do all the right things, but we feel like we're doing everything wrong. Does that make sense? That's why it's so important to stay plugged in and stay plugged into big events, because you get reminded that you're on the wrong track, even though it feels like you're a freaking mess. Or you feel like your team is a mess and you want to shoot them all, okay? or your trainees are just all the most, you know, lazy, excuse-making group in the whole world. That's just everybody, okay? And I don't mean we feel badly about other people, we just doubt ourselves as leaders. Am I doing the right thing? Did I say the right thing? Did I do the right thing? Am I doing the right, you know? And so just by staying plugged in like this and picking up, I'm sure you picked up a few good nuggets from everybody here today, and you implement a few things. You never have to overhaul anything. The only danger about a big event is people come in like this and they go, whew, and you don't need to do that. You just need to make a little carburetor adjustment for you guys that are as old as me who remember carburetors that we could actually work on.
Yeah.
Okay, before computers, take a screwdriver, just make a little turn, and sweet, right? You don't have to haul the whole thing out. You know, just a little adjustment here or there makes a big difference. And hopefully this event, you'll make a couple little adjustments like that and you'll see things start to take off. Daniel asked me to talk to you guys about becoming RVP and developing RVPs, and I'm excited about doing that because that's something we've done our whole career. Even when we were trainees, that's all we talked about was being RVPs, them being RVPs with us, and us finding RVPs in their list. I'm going to spend some time talking about that today because if you develop that mentality long before you get to RVP, and even if you are an RVP, you're not having the success you want, you make sure you look at every new person as a potential RVP and the key people on their list as potential RVPs for them, then you're going to have a much more committed trainee. And you're going to have a much more dedicated group of people because they're coming here because something important is in it for them. Does that make sense? I want to just share a couple of things before I go to my slides that I think are going to be important to you. The pictures I shared last night at our op night were mainly just to show you that how drastically life can change. You know, you go from an average upbringing, an average house, and an average means to being able to do whatever you want, when you want, with whom you want, and that it can really change. I don't know when it's going to break for you. All I know is you'll feel it and you'll know when it happens. It feels like the wind's at your back and you can't screw it up if you try. Right now it's very important. You do all the right things and you stay focused and committed for as long as it takes. You're going to get tired, you're going to want to give up, you're going to feel it's unfair, you're going to feel that you're giving when you're not getting nothing. And if you feel like that right now, you're so on track, it's ridiculous. Is this helping? Yes. Because that's completely normal. Don't believe the bullshit of anybody who talks and says, you know, it's just, this is that, this is great, this is great. You know, the result of getting the work done is great, but the process really sucks around here. Okay, it's no different than sports. When I played hockey, the process of winning was really hard and it really sucked, but winning was really awesome. But the process, not so much. Right? Pulled muscles, throwing up, you know, feeling sore all the time, can't move your body, hurting all the time. The process of winning isn't fun, but hoisting up the trophies, awesome. And so, you know, when you feel you can't give anymore, give some more. When you feel you can't smile anymore, smile some more. When you feel you can't say one more thing positive, say something positive. Because that's your test, because you are teetering on the brink of exploding or getting wiped out. And that's when you get to that point where you just want to be normal. Has anybody thought of that? Sometimes you just want to be normal, have a 9-to-5 job with weekends off, drink beer on the weekends. But just before you do that and cut your throat, okay? Because we've all thought like that. It's really important you reset and go, I got to charge. You know, Art Williams, our founder, he was only around for a year when I got into business, and he used to always say, when things get dark and you can't go no more, charge. When things go wrong and you just are pissed off, charge. It's the last thing you want to do is get up, be excited, try one more time, pick up the phone and be fired up when you just want to scream. But it's the only thing that works is charge. It's not what you're saying, it's how you're saying it. Okay, it's not the scripts you use, it's not the flip charts you have, it's not the process you're using. What happens is to us over time is when we're in this business of trying to inspire people, it's very draining because we're pouring our tank into them, right? And we don't notice our tank going down. We don't. But then there comes a day where we just feel like shit and we don't know why. Anybody been there? It's like you lost your mojo, like in sports. Or like in sports. Ever been in sports and you got in a slump? Or what you tried to do, you just, what the heck? Okay? The reason that happens is when we get so busy, because I'm talking to you leaders, and you guys and gals are the ones that are rocking this hierarchy right now. And when you're out there giving and expressing and pushing and doing all those things to give to other people, and you're juggling 18,000 balls between your family, maybe some of your part-time, you got a job too, which really adds more pressure. When you're doing all that, you stop doing the things that you did early on to fill your tank. You stop reading. You stop listening to tapes because you're just so busy. And I'm going to caution you right now, you better start 50 minutes of every morning and 50 minutes of every night before you go to bed just reading something positive. I don't care if it's the Bible, stick your nose into Proverbs, into that. It's the greatest positive book in the Bible, or something, some self-help book, or some inspirational story. But don't watch the news and don't, just 15 minutes a day, that's all it takes, because you need to keep your tank full, right? Right. And I made that mistake so many times because I figured, well, I read when I had nothing going on and trying to get something going. Once I had something going on, what the hell I got to read for? I can be positive, right? Anybody else think like that? Well, then you start running and all the wheels fall off the car. It's because you can't ever forget you are the power source and you have to get recharged, just like your cell phone. You got to plug it in every night or don't work the next day. Right? Yes. So don't forget that, especially for you guys. It is so critically important. Your attitude's like a stack of paper. You ever put a stack of paper that goes in a photocopier? It's about this thick, right? When you wrap the cover of the pad paper on it. If you put a stack of paper like that on a desk, and you walk by every day and just took off one sheet, after a week, you wouldn't. The stack looks the same. 2 weeks, still looks the same. A month later, hey, it's down a bit. A month later, whoa, right? And a couple months later, there's 500 sheets in the paper, a stack. All of a sudden, it's like, well, that stack's almost gone. Same thing with your attitude. You don't notice it going down the first little while, but it is. Because every time you get off the phone and you're telling your trainee for the 19,000th time to not listen to their lesson or whatever, and you're repeating yourself and you're repeating yourself and you're repeating yourself, right? And your upline still says stupid stuff to your people and you can't seem to get it to change that, whatever is frustrating you. We've all been through it, okay? You can't change people, but you can change how you deal with things. And you can change how much energy you put into the situation to make things better. Right. So if you're not reading and listening to tapes in your car, then you're just taking sheets off the stack. When you're reading and listening to tapes in your car, you're putting sheets back on the stack. Does that make sense? Yeah. I wanted to paint that visual for you because it's really, really important. I'm going to talk to you about a lot of this kind of intangible stuff today because you're in a hierarchy that is very excellent at the how-tos. If you weren't, you wouldn't be having the success that I saw you have here, okay? You guys are rocking, and that's no bullshit that Addison and Glenn told me to say hi to you guys yesterday, because you're a very well-known team, and they're expecting big things from you. They're expecting big SVPs and big NSDs and big SNSDs to come out of here, because RVP is just the beginning of the game. That's when you're in. Okay? RVP should never be the end all. And so, to our new people, we talk about RVP, but as we got them thinking they can be one, we got to start adjusting. I'll talk to you about that today as well. But I showed you the pictures because life can and will change, and a life of passion exists for you when you are pursuing something. And what's so great about what we have is we're all pursuing something. And I think that's what's attractive to new people for us is they get, I don't know if jealous is the right word, but they feel like they're missing that in their life because they're not pursuing anything anymore. They pursued their wife or husband at one time. They pursued, having kids at one time. They pursued a career at one time. And then everything just kind of gets flat with most people, correct? Unfortunately, it's why the divorce rate's so high and stuff like that. People just lose passion. But when you're involved in a business like this, when you're always chasing something, and it's the challenges and the goals and the goodies are every time you open a new door, it's like, wow, I didn't know that existed. It's really awesome. And it keeps you fresh and hungry and passionate. And I think, to me, living a life of passion versus existing is absolutely a blessing. Because I used to exist. Isn't it great you don't have to exist anymore? Here's why I'm telling you this stuff. When you have things happen to you, okay, it's because you're trying to grow and get better. Things, how do I say this? The enemy, the devil, sticks his head up and tries to block you when you try to do something out of the ordinary. I believe that with everything that's in me. God doesn't do bad things to you. It's the freaking devil, okay? Get that straight, all right? People who are average in life and they're not going to really impact other people, the devil leaves them alone because they're not a threat to him. But you start attracting people, start believing in them, start telling them they can be somebody, start helping them with their marriage and their kids, because that's what we do. We're freaking counselors, right? We are. They come to us with it, don't they? Or is it just me? All right? They come in your office and I need to tell you something, right? About my mom or about my kid. I'm like, oh my God. And I just had a fight with Mike like 5 minutes before. And I'm like, really? To myself, and you can't say anything about that, right? But so the reason we have these setbacks and these things hit us is, I believe, this is just my opinion, the enemy gets pissed off because he goes, holy crap. I mean, he's starting to get people, because the enemy likes to keep us down and control us. And we're about having people not stay down and be controlled. So you need to identify that. When you're starting to have some challenges, you should start smiling and look the devil in the eye and go kick his ass. And use God's help for prayer. I know I'm not a very religious speaker, I understand that. But I've learned a lot over the last few years that I used to get mad at God. We got to stop getting mad at God. We got to start asking God for strength and help and go squash the enemy, because he's on our side. And we need that strength to handle those things. And so, I think that, maybe this is too deep and too heavy, I don't know, but I just really believe this everything's me, because how in the heck, how else can you explain, because we're in a war. I believe we're in a war, and we're in a war against the industry, we're in a spiritual war, and I really believe that because we're trying to take people from unknowing and unbelieving to believing, and and they impact other people in a positive way. We're going to take some shots, man. And so you got to get ready for that. And so I hope that helps you a little bit. Those are welcomed things as long as you're reading and you're praying and you're connected, because with the help of this team and through prayer, you can handle anything. My goal every morning is when I wake up and my feet hit the floor, the devil goes, oh shit. Only not because I'm so tough, only because of what I've got on my side and I'm using it against him. Versus I get up in the morning and he goes, ha ha, can't wait to mess with this bugger today. Like he always does, right? You get a flat tire at the worst time, your washer breaks when the dishwasher breaks at the same time, right? You're at a knot meeting and something blows up at home and you got to run back and your brand new guest came finally after 16 times inviting them. And you're fixing a flood and I mean all kind of, okay? You gotta be fired up when crap starts happening because you're on the brink of doing something awesome. Okay? So in order for a life of passion to exist and you achieving what you want, I believe that change has to take place. And to me, here's the three things that are involved in change, okay? People got to abandon three things. You got to abandon these things. You got to abandon comfort, short term. You got to abandon an employee mentality. and you've got to abandon flocking with turkeys. And I'll explain all three here in a sec. You got to abandon comfort, employee mentality, and flocking turkeys. You got that?
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about comfort. To be successful here, everybody has to change. There's no free lunches. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Change is uncomfortable.
Yes.
Very uncomfortable. It's very easy to say, well, that's just the way I am. Well, if you're not attracting anybody, then you got to change. Who gives a crap that's the way you are? Change it. Don't allow that thinking into your mind. Okay? Well, I'm just not that positive. Well, you better change that. Well, I'm just not that talkative. You should change that too. Look, I didn't come in here this yappy. No, I didn't. I didn't come in here this positive. I changed. It's hard. I came to meetings and, I'd go to a party, I'd yap to my friends, but to strange people, I didn't go to my way to introduce myself. Hi, I'm Mark, how are you? So I hung with my 3-4 friends and went home. A lot of you were the same way. The life of the party with my buddies, but getting in an elevator with a stranger? Right? My floor here yet? You know? And I didn't use the words like awesome and unbelievable and mind-boggling in my vocabulary prior to coming here. But I noticed that working with people that were winning, I'm like, crap, I gotta say that shit too? So I started saying it. Started high-fiving people. When I always stuck up my hand first. Right? Started hugging guys. Which for me was uncomfortable. But everyone has to wrestle with change. One of the things I want to challenge you to do, whether you're part-time or full-time, that you got to change right now, is keep your dang-gum store open. Here's what I mean. You're running a Primerica store. Keep it open. Let me help you with this. You know, you guys that are in the business, you do pretty good for a while, then you have a slump. You're having these peaks and valleys because you don't keep your momentum, because you don't keep your store open. Because you're always taking a long weekend off, or you're always booking, or I had this book long before I knew about the builder school. That's the dumbest stuff out of somebody's mouth to me when they tell me they want to win and they say that at the same time.
Right.
Let me talk to those of you that come from families that are very tight, close-knit, and religious. Like probably all the Hispanics in the room. I know what you deal with because I was raised Roman Catholic. Lots of kids, lots of cousins, and 8 million parties every weekend for something. And all surrounded by food, right? And if you miss it, you're an asshole. Grande Mandejo or something. Did I say that right? Did I? Whatever. Okay, so I'm like, you know, the pressure was constant for me. When are we going to come home? Cousin so-and-so's having this, and Uncle so-and-so's having that, and Uncle, right? And it's just, and now here's what I noticed. Remember I told that story last night about my cousin Peter who left to go plow a parking lot. Everybody thought that was awesome. Well, I got a clue after a while because they all felt he had a real business. They didn't think I had a real business. So I went to work to sit them all down, and I gave them all a presentation or dragged their ass to me, so at least had an idea about what I was trying to do. And I was trying to build a business, and I needed them to get off my butt. Politely, I asked them, so that I could build it, and then we could do some awesome things for this family. Okay? Like instead of having a party at the park when it's raining, because that's all we could afford, why don't we rent a big hall and have it catered, right? Or just do something, like I wanted to just let everybody know, look, a temporary pain, long-term gain. Okay? Look, just work with me. I asked family and friends to help babysit our kids, and we reward them with trips or do whatever. We bribed people to get on our side because I couldn't go forward knowing everybody was pissed off at me. Okay? So I had to just let, some of you might need to have a sit down Because I'll never forget some of the presentations I gave to people. They weren't like full-blown presentations. It's like, look, I just need to make you clear on something. I go, boom, 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 boom. Here's what I do. And then I look at me and I say, does that look like a scam to you? Does that look like some crap to you? No, no, no. What are you getting upset for? Because you keep busting my ass about it. That's why I'm getting upset. I don't bust your ass when you complain how much you hate your job weekend after weekend after weekend. So don't bust mine. Right? When I'm trying to get ahead here, I just need you to help me. Now, I didn't yell at them like that, but I was just trying to, I was just so sick and tired of everybody trying to pull me back. When at the end of the day, I was trying to do this so I could include everybody in this thing with me. Like you all are. So, look, the store, if you've ever gone to the lake or the park or the beach or something on the weekend, and when you used to have your jobs, Little Primerica, and you drove on the way out to that place for the long weekend, weren't you glad that the store you stopped at to get gas, beer, and food was open? Yes. What if that store owner thought like some of you or your people do when it's a long weekend and they shut down their Primerica business? See what I mean? Yeah. See, a lot of us don't treat our business like a business, so guess what? Our friends and family don't treat it like one. Right. And that's why they wipe you around like a wet rag and abuse you. But when they see you take a stand and you don't say things like, I can't make the event, Mom, I'm going to a meeting on Saturday. Well, your mom's going to go, a meeting? What are you stupid? What are you going to a meeting for, right? But if you said instead, Ma, I can't come this weekend. I'm building my business. Things are going really well. I have to keep it open. Things are going great. Got a big weekend planned. Things are growing. I'm so excited. I know in a couple of years I'm going to take you and Dad to Hawaii. It's going to be awesome. You tell everybody I love them, and I'll see you next weekend or at the end of the month when there's a real important thing going on. Like a wedding. Okay, you with me? But all this other little crap in between, all these little barbecues and everything that waste your time and frustrate you because you go and you're not there when you're there, are you? You're not there mentally. You're stressing out, you're there, but you're thinking about your business, and then when you're not there, you're thinking about the family. We gotta get a focus going here. Okay? So just for a short period of time, and I'm not saying miss everything, but you need to start cutting back on some stuff and have some difficult conversations. I will promise you, the people that really matter to you are going to be so thankful you stayed focused, because when you're with them in Hawaii or Italy or Mexico or across the street and take them to a nice dinner, or you're there to bail them out when something breaks or they get sick and you put them in a private room in a hospital, or their kids need something done and you write the check, they're going to be really glad you did that. And that they're going to thank you for not listening to them when they tried to talk you out of it. Right. Okay? So keep your store open. And the other thing that you've got to do is you've got to become attractive. That's uncomfortable. I mean, not physically to attract a mate, as a leader. Positive, inspiring. I call it the Pope of Hope. You're always the Pope of Hope. You're always saying something good. Right? You're breaking up negative conversations. Come on, man, we don't need to do that stuff. Hey, what's going on good for you? What's happening? You know, just even when you're around the office, you're becoming attractive. You know, you get like that. Read some books. Skill with People by Les Giblin, Win Friends and Influence People by Neil Carnegie, Power of Positive Thinking by Norman Vincent Peale. If you said I've read those already, read them again. Read them again. It's amazing how much we forget. You should remember one little thing out of a book, you read again, you remember another thing. You read the book 10 times, you remember 10, 20 things, okay? But you don't remember 20 things from one pass. And plus, each time you read it, you're more mature in your thinking, so you're getting the more mature stuff out of it. That's hidden. Because our brains block the stuff that we really need to do. Well, that sounds good, but I ain't doing that shit. You flip the page. Or is that just me that does that? So, skill with people, win friends and influence people, power of positive thinking. And I think the biggest thing when it comes to, I'm still on point one about comfort, is you got to be tenacious. If you're not a tenacious individual, I'd like to challenge, if you think that you're not, I'd like to challenge differently. I think you are. I think if you were put in a situation where it was life or death for your kid, you'd be really tenacious. I think if it was something that was going to happen to your mom or dad, you'd be really tenacious. You'd put your life in danger. You'd be tenacious. I think people aren't tenacious because they just don't think the prize in Primerica is worth the fight. But if you really believe that this is really your only shot and you could really be free and you want it so bad you cry at night, then you'll get tenacious. Because let me tell you something. This is a tenacity business, not a talent business.
Right.
I'll promise you. The people that break through are very tenacious. They've got some skills that they've learned, but they're not super talented. And they sure don't feel like they are. They're just tenacious as all hell. There's a quote that says, in the battle, it says, in the battle of the river and the rock, the river always wins. Not because of its strength, but it just keeps coming at you, and coming at you, and coming at you. And it wears the rock down, or moves it.
Right.
True?
Right.
So, be tenacious. Second thing, employee mentality. How many are part-time in this room? Raise your hand. First of all, congrats for lying to your boss that you were sick to be here. Good job. I hope you all have a plan to get full-time, and I hope that your plan is very specific. And if it's not, you're not going to come full-time. And if you'd like some help with it, let me give you one. Because really, you can't build an RVP team part-time. Really? Has it been done? And somebody say, well, that's bullshit. Yes, I did it or somebody else did it. It's rare. It's been done, but it's rare. I'm just trying to help you collapse time frames here, okay? First of all, knock down your debts as fast as you can. Credit cards, loans, get rid of them. Sell stuff at a loss. Have a yard sale. I mean, really clear the clutter. All that crap you got that you think's that important, you can get new stuff that's way more awesome in 3-5 years. That works. It looks better than the stuff you got now. Okay? Seriously. I mean, just unload the crap off the boat. All right? And then, my suggestion is the only debt you really should have is like a mortgage payment. Okay? Switch your cars out. Knock the payments down. I drove 2 junky cars for years. I used to park a block away and walk because I didn't want them to look out the living room window and see what piece of shit I was driving. But I just didn't want the stress if I had a bad month that I was going to put a gun to my head, you know? I just didn't want that. And so, and plus, you know, when you're a field trainer, make your trainee drive. They all got nice cars. Right? Because they got jobs and they're broke, living beyond their needs, go in their car. I'm not kidding you. I used to have my trainees pick me up. That's part of the field training experience. Hey, listen, I'm giving them an opportunity of a lifetime. They're getting a bonus. Invest in your business. Pick me up. Some of you guys think I'm kidding. I'm not. And it's about half the time I drive and they drive, and when I drive and they go, man, I thought you were like doing well. I am. I says, but I'm investing my money in my business, not a stupid car. And I'm saving money, and even though I might not have been that in that month, you know, I was letting them know that my business is where I'm putting all my money, and you know, people do appreciate that because instead of living this life of flash, you know, they want to know you've got real substance, and so it's okay to do that stuff. Just don't stay there. Just don't have a shitty car for 10 years. I mean, they got to, you know, that could change in a year, right? Okay, so what I was going to tell you was, as far as the employee mentality is, a job makes us become work processors. And it's a disease we get at the job. They tell us what to do, we do it, right? We don't show up and create work at our job. We're told what to do and we're expected to do it. And if we're not told what to do, we're just expected to do what they told us to do a year ago, and we're going to do it over and over again until we're freaking dead, right? That's a job, okay? And it's very limited as to how you can grow with that. A business owner is a work creator. And the struggle you're going to have staying part-time is you're always flipping between work processing and then trying to work create over here, and you go back to work processing. Because if you try to work process over here at Primerica, guess what you do? You take your one trainee and you work with them until they die or quit. But they never get a license to do anything because you're doing everything with what you're trying to process one person. you're not creating multiple things going on. Am I making any sense? And you got to be really careful with that. I would have a goal to get out of my job as soon as possible. The standard we use, because remember, I was raised full time in the business. When I started in 1988, Canada did not have part-time. So how it worked was I could train part-time. Dennis, my upline, recruited for me. I watched training sales. He put people on my team. I could do all that part-time. But the minute I passed my exam and I wanted to get my code number from the company, I had to send in a notice to Head Office Canada that I had to give them a copy of my resignation letter that I quit my job or they would not release my code number to me. Wow. Now, now that's one thing when you're full-time, you're recruiting part-timers, but try being full-time and you got to recruit people the same way now. So everybody I'm selling this opportunity to, they know that they're going to be quitting their job in 4 to 6 weeks. So they couldn't get a license until they sent off their resignation. So we didn't recruit a whole lot of people, but the ones that we had, they were committed.
Right.
So how did I attract them? I had to sell this for what it was worth. And I think we got to stop just attracting people to a part-time. I mean, we should talk about this. You can make great part-time money. But what's possible here is unbelievable. And we can't ever get bummed out that when look, I know people stop selling how big this is because you have one person tell you, well, that'll never happen, or you know, they bust your chops about it's too big, it's unrealistic, and I heard of somebody who did something that didn't make it, and then you go, well, maybe I should dumb it down. Never, ever dumb it down.
Right.
Never. Because it's the truth. We have 2,600 people making 100 grand a year. It's working for somebody. That's where I'm going. That's where I want to drive people to. And I'm not there yet, but the person I'm following or the person that I'm in my office is, and he's teaching me or she's teaching me everything that they know. That's where we're going. So I think it's really important that if you want to get ahead, you need to get some guts, and you got to dump your job, and you got to come full time. And I hope that makes you nervous so you want to throw up. Because that's normal if you feel that way. Look, don't come full-time with a bunch of debt and no people. To me, you should never come full-time unless you've got at least 5 trainees that want, and you're a field trainer, you're a qualified field trainer, that you can train them. You got 5 people willing to book appointments. Till you got that, don't come full-time because you'll be full-time, but what do I do next? You want to be full-time with your week booked. So build up to that point, and you can get there in 90 days. Yes. If you make it an obsession and you make it a mission, you get the field trainer, have people on your team. Talk to your upline, your RVP. They'll help you recruit these people. Figure out what you got to do to become a better person so you can field train. Because field training is the gold mine in Primerica. It's just the greatest thing in the world. So I think you need to make that plan, and I'm going to help you with that plan here in a few minutes when I switch off of this. But you can't beat the odds of the job. The job pays the bills. And I want to challenge you guys. I'm not going to suggest this as a change to the hierarchy. I'm going to suggest this as a change to your thinking. I would even be careful with the verbiage part-time. I'd start thinking second career.
Right.
Doesn't that sound a little bit more serious?
Yeah. Right.
You know what part-time is to me? Working at Kmart. Doing something you can't stand for a few bucks because you found yourself in a pinch, you need some extra money, but you can't wait to get out of there. It's a very temporary deal. Isn't that a part-time job for most people in America? It's some bullshit thing they got to do. It's time away from their kids, but they need the money. I don't want people in my business thinking that. I'm recruiting people to a second career. I'm recruiting people to a full-time career that they can start as a second career. They've got their job, this is their second career. And if they treat this serious and they put time into this while they've got their job, this will eventually become their main career. They'll dump that sucker.
Right.
But this ain't no part-time job. And I think if you just start, look, here's why I think like that. Where else can you go where you can start as a trainee and you can be a CEO of your own company with no experience? And if you don't think that happens, let me explain. Okay? Our hierarchy did $55 million in sales last year. Okay, we've been paid $18 million in the last 23 years that we've been in the business. That's an average of $750 a year from day one. Okay, that's CEO income, is it not?
Yeah. Yep.
I started as a trainee. I didn't know my butt from a hole in the ground, and I was scared to death. So don't tell me that you can't start as a trainee and be a CEO of your own company. That's why I think this is a second career.
Right.
This ain't some part-time bullshit. Does that make sense? So
Yes.
I'm not trying to, you have to change the verbiage, but I think by letting your trainees know that they're in a second career that could take them to this great place, they might just treat this with more respect.
Right.
Because this business will give you how you treat it. You treat it like a part-time job, it'll give you a part-time job money. You treat it like a business, it'll give you business money.
Right.
And I don't think anybody respects this enough. That when they're soon enough when they come in. I guess too, with you guys that are at your job and you're thinking, well, I'm at this meeting and I never really thought about RVP, and every time I come, you guys kind of talk to me, but I really got a good job. Let me just ask you a question. Do you want to be an architect where you build your own life? Or do you want to be a work processor building somebody else's life? Harsh, but true. True, isn't it? They own it, you don't. So why don't we just shift our focus that we're such loyal employees and start being loyal to our business? And because most of you can do your jobs on autopilot, right? You do your job on autopilot. You don't even have to think about that, but you need mental energy to think about this. And I would just put some more time into this and treat it with that respect. So, last thing, flocking with turkeys. Friends, co-workers, and family. They come in all shapes and sizes. Just be careful. Okay, if you find yourself being abused and you don't say anything back, you probably should. You probably should say, Jimmy, let me talk to you about something. Okay, you really got to knock that off. This ain't a thing. It's a freaking business. And you start putting together some stories in your mind of, if you don't have them yourself, of death claims that have been paid in this office and how it saved a widow from financial ruin, from investments that you've put into accounts that have a shot at getting to $1 million now at the higher interest rate versus the bull crap the bank was paying them, from the auto and home story differences to the debt differences. You just find some real meat to make people go, holy crap, I didn't know that. Well, no shit, Sherlock, because you never freaking listened to me about it, right? And you're always just, bugging me about stuff. And I think there comes a point where we got to take a stand. It doesn't mean you're rude or you tell people don't ever talk to me or call them names. You just fight for the pride of your business.
Right.
You let people know you're proud. And don't rain on my parade, because I ain't raining on yours. Does that make sense? Yeah. And when it comes to family that you have to be around, don't talk to them anymore if you've already tried that. Because I know, so I can hear it right now. I say, but I tried that, and my cousin's still bugging. Then you know what? Every time you're around your cousin, just ask about him. So how's it going? What's happening? Really? You told me that last week, so it hasn't changed. You're still going back, whatever. But just ask about them, the kids, and keep the conversation off of you. Just don't even go there. Just stay focused, build it, and they will come. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Some people, you've tried it and they haven't changed, don't bring it up anymore. Just when you see them, just take a shot of whiskey for you in the door and just do your best. Okay? I'm just kidding. But I know there's sometimes we can't avoid these situations. But listen, I think sometimes I give these talks, and sometimes I know people might wonder, well, what's that got to do with the business? I think it's got everything to do with the business, because these little things can knock you out.
Right.
And maybe not physically, but it can knock you out mentally. And if you get knocked out mentally for just 1 week, you're starting all over again.
Right.
Because momentum in this business is so precious. And when you got it, you got to get all you can get. And when you don't got it, you better get ready, because it's like pushing a rock up the hill. But you can. Okay? And the main reason why you can is you've got ridiculous hierarchy synergy here right now. Ridiculous. I travel a lot. I've spoken to a lot of hierarchy centers. I've made friends with a lot of people that come in. I just always like to, I've learned so much from my uncle like Dennis and Sean Bryant, and then Randy Marcy Godfrey and Mike and Stephanie Tuttle. That's our chain of command. But I always went around and did schools, and not just as a speaker. I started just going to people, inviting myself, can I go learn? Because I get a nugget or two. Never changed our team system, but just got a nugget or two that made me survive another month, And, but I'm telling you, from all the traveling we've done, you guys got some great, amazing stuff going on here. And the danger of that is you don't know how good it is because you're in it. You know that saying, we don't know what we got till it's gone? You got it. And it's so good that it will help you push that rock up the hill because you're not alone. You've got people pushing with you. And you've got people inspiring you. Okay? You've got friends that you can confide in, uplines you can confide in. Look, I'm having a rough day, can you help me through this? But just come to your uplines with your problems with a positive expectation. You know, just don't dump your crap on your upline. Say, look, I'm dealing with this stuff, it's really hard, but here's what I'm thinking to do to get out of it. What do you think? That's a much better way to dump your crap on your upline versus just dump your crap and just, okay, I'm done now. You know? And so, I would just really encourage any of you that are bigger in this room and have got some great things going on to stay plugged in till you got about 400 people showing up at your own event. Some of you might not want to hear that, but I'm just going to tell you from experience because I saw this last night. I went, wow, there are some studs on this team. Some people with some big numbers and winning big trophies bigger than Daniel. And to his credit, he is so self-assured and confident, he actually buys them for you. See that ego problem, he buy you the little ones. Then he's taller than those. So, I was laughing when you were on stage and you're standing beside him. Here's the trophy. I'm like, that's awesome. That's a confident dude right there.
But he's still a winner.
That's right. We had when we were going through our major, like what you're going through right now, and popping out RVPs every 90 days to 6 months, good ones. I mean, 100, 150 grand earners within their first 12 months, usually within 8 months or 6 months of their promotion, which is what you guys have going on right now, I know. We had one of our top folks, and we encouraged them too to, you know, go start doing your own thing. And it worked for a little while, and then them and us both went down. Because we missed them and they missed us. We missed that energy. We missed that steel sharpens steel. That gritting against each other, you know? And challenging each other and getting each other's face in a positive way. And even though you hate losing to so-and-so and you hate, you know, challenge, you just, it's really important right now. And I hope that, just for a while, okay? And I don't know if that's the situation here, but I always give that talk to hierarchies that are running. But when you got about 400 showing up, and you've got a synergy on your own, a real one that will last a long, long time. And I want to also making sure, I get a question every time I travel, how did you keep belief when you were getting your ass shot off every day like I am? And I got a very simple answer for that. It was the $100,000 book. It's not a real sexy answer, but I hung my life on that thing. Because at the end of the day, that's the proof. Right? Right. We can say all we want, but at the end of the day, when you take that book and you flip through it, there's 8 million pictures in there, 2,600 to be exact. How can this be bullshit? Right. And then when you look in that book and really study some of the pictures, and you know how we all prejudge people? We go, oh my God, now I feel even worse. That dude makes 100 grand? I'm going to kill myself. Right? I mean, there's one guy in there, he looks like Dracula. Dark circles under his eyes, he's smiling, but he looks like this. He's ready to bite you, you know? Now I'm going to go look for the poor guy. I always thought this hired me. And, but I would, let me just tell you what that book did for me, okay? I would, on every phone call, I had it near me. On every appointment, kitchen table, on every interview, on every op night, every Saturday training. I went everywhere with that thing. That was my security blanket. Because when I got all the failure messages, no, I don't want any, no, I changed my mind, yeah, I'll be at the op meeting, and then I'm up against the wailing wall till core date, my meeting starts at 7:30, and he still doesn't show up. You always got a wailing wall in your office, right? Everybody's standing there looking up the window. Said he'd be here just 20 minutes ago, where is he? Everybody's wailing at the wailing wall, right? And I go back to my book and go, they went through this too, they went through this too, and they probably went through more of it than I am, that's why they're in the friggin' book. And that's a fact. The people that win eat more shit sandwiches. I'm just saying. Nobody gets through this thing unscathed. Y'all with me? You get beat, battered, and bruised, but you win.
Right.
So keep that book near you when you're recruiting. Open it up to the plumber you're trying to recruit, to the teacher. We got rocket scientists in there. We got janitors, we got housewives, we got everybody. There's not one person I'd say, I can't do this. Yes, you can. Here's you, here's you, here's you, here's you, here's you, here's you. There's 16 of you in here. Why not you? Right? And then for me on the way home, there's me, there's me, there's me, there's me. I'm not going to quit even though that guy almost made me quit today. Because I can't take it anymore. That hung me in, so I wanted to throw that at you too. Can we switch to 880 million of assets under management? Oh, by the way, if you want to get securities going in your business, very simple. All we did was we started doing an investment seminar once every 6 weeks, just like an op night. People could bring clients. We talked strictly about investments before everyone else, have a little wine and cheese. Everybody showed up for booze, right? And the clients would come because before they write a check for 50 grand, they like to see bricks and mortar.
Yeah.
And we'd be writing up sales like crazy afterwards. So we didn't do a whole lot at the KT. We just invited them, just like you recruited an op night. Well, we did investment sales at an investment night. And if you guys want to get a copy of my investment seminar, just have Daniel shoot me a message. I'll forward it to you. It's very simple. You have 3 securities guys talk about it, and we do a little recruiting at the end because we just tell people, you know what, if you're looking for another career, because people love that stuff. When you talk about making and saving money, and you take the fear in the stock market for them, fires them up. And you can recruit at that too. We just don't lay real heavy on recruiting because people aren't invited for that reason. But you'll get investments as a culture in your business, and you don't even have to think about it. You don't have to screw up your recruiting and premium. Does that make sense? And we've been paid 17 million, it's 18 now, since we started. All started by setting a few appointments with family and friends to share with them what we were doing. That's crazy, isn't it? So here's what we did. We did 16 appointments in 10 days in our training. I think it's important we teach new people to get off to a fast start like you're all talking about. You know, lots of appointments in a short period of time. We made a full-time commitment right away, and my whole focus was 2 appointments a night, 4 nights a week, plus appointments after Saturday training, and appointments after church on Sunday for 3 years. It's all I had to do. I worked a very busy schedule for 3 years. I was full-time. I'm going to go through a full-timer's time management thing real quick so you manage your time properly, because you need to have that, because when you're full-time, it's very easy to let the day get away from you, isn't it? Right. And you feel really tired, but you didn't do shit, really, to build your business. Isn't that something? How that happens? We recruited 2 directs a month and built them a team. Okay? Our focus was not to go a billion wide. And look, if your focus is different here, it's obviously working, don't change it. I'm just telling you what worked for us. And every month I had to focus at 2 directs and then to recruit people for them right away to lock them in. And how we did that was we sat down with people and asked them who they knew. And we talked to them about their people. Tell me about them. Tell me about their qualities. What comes to mind first when you think of Jim? What comes to your mind first when you think of Sally? Now tell me something else about Jim. Tell me something else about Sally. I'm looking for character, competitiveness. I'm looking for, you know, they want something more to life. They give you the shirt off their back. They're great people. They're good parents. Good character qualities. Then I would just tell this new recruit, say, no, you got some RVPs on your team. We're going to see them first. And we booked all of our appointments with a recruit on the opportunity, never on the concepts. Because I was going to build them a championship team. So when I would recruit a direct, I would tell them those first 5, 10 phone calls are, hey, I'm starting a new career, don't know if you heard. But with a company that's expanding, looking for sharp people, they asked me who I knew. I told them, you got to hear this out. I'm coming over tomorrow night, get the beer cold. Click. Right? Or get the tea hot, or if they weren't a beer drinker, okay? Or whatever. It's their friends. So we didn't have to give a big speech, but the appointments were set on the opportunity. It was set on the business expanding, not about looking at their finances. Did we do that when we got there? Yeah. But we're talking about expanding a business. And what's the business? Company, concept, compensation. Right? Yep. Do all that when you get there, but I'm not going to explain all that crap over the phone, because I want to show them who we are, what we do, and show them how they get paid so they understand. And by the way, let's get you taken care of, because you can't do this business owning all the other crap out there. And it works like a champ. had guests to every meeting, and we never missed an event. We never missed an event. Never missed a meeting. Sandy and I, sitters. We wore babysitters out. Okay? Cody was 3 months old when we started our business. He was little, and he was colicky. He never slept. It was really a special time in our life. And we always got a sitter. And just because of that, we made 40 grand our first year, 60 our second, 200 our third, 300 our fourth, 400 our fifth. Kept adding 100 grand a year to our income every year, promoting RVPs, and we crossed $1 million in 13. When Daniel said we were one of the fastest, we weren't. Mark and Sue Younger did it in 8 years. But we had the smallest team at the time when we got to $1 million. We only had like 550 agents. And at the time, when people were going to $1 million, they had thousands. But the reason why we only needed 550 was we started with a bunch of part-time, full-timers. Does that make sense? Yeah. So, hey, are you guys clicking or am I? Or is this thing just real sensitive? Are you guys clicking it? Oh, good. Then I'll leave this alone. Fill the screen up, please. When my feet hit the floor in the morning as a full-timer, these were the questions in my mind. Do I have 2 appointments tonight? And if so, do I have 2 tomorrow night? And how many new people do I have coming to the next meeting? Because really, everything else is bull crap. Okay? Yeah, I understand you got your paperwork to do, and you've got emails to do, and you've got to fax and forward to head office 16,000 times, right? And you got to call people, and you got to do this and that. But this is what makes your business tick, right or wrong?
Right.
And that's the most important thing. So keep the message to yourself very simple every day. Okay? All you got to do is do this for 2 to 3 years, and you're done. Done. But most people drag it out to a career because they do this for a while, then they chase something else. They go back to this, they stay on this. Okay? Next thing. Yeah, fill that all up so people can write. Thank you. I know you've seen this, but when's the last time you've redone your goals and have had them up in front of you? Maybe you should use this event to start that again. Put another dream board up in your house. Put your goals on your steering wheel. And guys, put it on the wall in front of the toilet. Ladies, put it on the wall behind the toilet, right? So, we both approach the toilet bowl a different way. And have it on your fridge. Have your kids do dream boards. Every New Year's Day, for years, we had a family dream board and goal setting day. That's what we did on New Year's Day. And the kids put their goals up for the year in their rooms, and we put ours up. Where we were going to go, where we were going to travel, what kind of goal, when Chris was little, I want to have a hamster, and all that, whatever, right? Just all that stuff. And start teaching. Include your family in that. So, because if you're doing it, it's automatic you ask your recruits to do it. Does that make sense? Because you might have done it, but it's been so long since you've revisited it. If you're not constantly revamping your goals, then you forget to tell people to do that. And I believe a new trainee's goals are the life buoy that we throw them every time they want to quit. See, when I wanted to quit, I called up Dennis. And I said, Dennis, this is just too hard, man. I'm getting my butt kicked. I can't seem to buy an appointment. And I was arguing, not meanly, but he was trying to be positive, and I wasn't having none of it. I said, no, I was just being a very realistic, negative. Just let me quit. And he goes, well, anyway, guys, it's obvious I can't convince you otherwise. All I want to just say then, it's too bad, because I guess then you can just kiss away those goals you had for your mom and dad. And I said, that's bullshit, man. I said, that's wrong. You didn't have to throw that out. And he goes, hey, you wrote them. I was pissed. I hung up the phone. And I remember that was a defining moment for me, because as much as I didn't like hearing that, he was right. And if I would have quit and went back to a job, there was no way in heck I would have ever been able to do for my parents what I really wanted to do for them. I wouldn't have had the money. And I wouldn't have the time. Right? So use those goals to hold your people ransom. It's really important. And that's not a mean thing. I love Dennis now. Yeah. Your trainees may not like you sometimes, but you've got to come across caring, and in their camp, all you got to say to a trainee when you're talking about something difficult, say, look, I know you don't like what I'm hearing, I just need you to understand. Do you understand it? Yeah, I do. Then great, we're doing fine. Because as long as they know, because being coached is never really fun, is it? And being the coach, if you're wired like me, isn't fun either. I get nervous the night before I knew I had to talk to an agent or a trainee about some issue, like coming late all the time, or looking like crap, or being negative at the meetings. I don't want to do that. I'd rather just leave it alone. Well, what happens when you leave it alone? Way worse. It becomes a cancer. So you got to be a coach. You just got to come across from a loving standpoint. And because, look, if anyone ever gets upset with you, just say, look, man, listen, if you think this was easy for me, it's not. And if I didn't give a rip about you, I would just leave you be and you'd run into the wall at 16,000 miles an hour and kill yourself. But I'm trying to grab you by the neck and saying, hey, there's a wall up ahead, knucklehead. Right? Do you really want to go there? Yeah, I do. Okay, cool. Right? Or else they go, shit, really? There's a wall? I didn't see it. Thanks, coach. A leader responds that way.
Right.
A person that's not going to be the one turns to, screw you, I'm going to the wall. Okay? Let them go. Recruit 2x a month, build them a team. Recruited couples across the kitchen table. I can't tell you how important this is. I didn't work in the war market. I worked in the hot market. There's a difference. The hot market are the 6 people on a person's list who will carry their casket if they die. They're the 6 to 8 people, 4 to 5 people, 7 to 10 people that if they called them at 2 in the morning stuck on the freeway with a blowout, they'd wake up and drive out and help them. That's hot market. And even though those hot market appointments might not be recruitable, they know other awesome people like that. But pretty much 70%, 80% of the time, they'll at least get started, try for a while, recruit some other people before they say it's not for me because you've got to start at something great because of it. Does that make sense?
Yes.
You want to get in the hot markets, best buddies, tight, chums. And when you recruit them, you don't just take them on an appointment to see their buddies, you take the wife and husband on the appointment. Sandy and I went on our field training appointments to our hot market together. She only went out for 2 weeks. It was just a 2-week ordeal to get us there. It's not the rest of your career, you tell the new person. Because Sandy helped us recruit just because guys are very technical and women are very heart power driven. And me and Dennis would start getting into all the technical stuff with the guy, yeah. And then Sandy would lean over to the wife and go, yeah. And then, you know what, when we get to RBP, I'm not going to have a job. I'm going to be able to, stay home with the kids. And I'm going to be able to, give to charity all that time. And I'm sitting there going to myself, that sounds nice, but they don't care about that crap in my mind. And as we're leaving the appointment, the husband and wife go, thanks so much for coming. We're fired up. Looking forward to see you guys on Saturday. And Sandy, what you said was awesome tonight. And I'm like, what? What about all the technicals this boom bob we did? Had I not had Sandy there, I would have lost it. You with me? So you want to recruit couples. That doesn't necessarily mean you put both their IBAs in. It could. But it doesn't have to be. Just make sure, if you're selling this as their family business, then have them go together with you. I'll promise you, your recruiting ratio of recruiting sharp couples will change your business. Never let the no stop us. We decided to change our habits. Already covered that. We visualized our team growing every month. We wrote out our goals. It was 2 directs, built for them. How much is the team to do this month? Next month, it was always growing. Did it happen like that every month? No. But we always had a path for growth. Became self-improvement focused, wanted to become the one of the few. Because who are the few? They show up early, and they help around the office, and they're positive, and they produce, and they get promotions, and they make money, even though everything that could go wrong is going wrong to them. Right? Even though you woke up this month and you got $5 grand in chargebacks, thanks to your team you recruited 6 months ago, which I went through, you still are positive, you still fight. That's one of the few. You know how attractive that is to people? That you're not walking around like Eeyore, right? All bummed out and sad. Next one. Okay, here's your time management schedule if you're full-time. Let's go back one. 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. You work out, breakfast with the family, take the kids to school. I can't tell you how important this is because full-timers always mess up their schedule. And you work so damn hard, you feel guilty because you don't see your kids. That should never happen. You can work your butt off, be a top producer and recruiter, and still see your kids every day.
Right.
You just got to work smart. And you got to stop being distracted all the time. So, let me talk about workout first of all. I don't have to go to a gym. I didn't. I got up and walked for 20 minutes outside. In Canada, in 40 below, so you can do it here. Seriously. It's a documented fact that if you walk briskly for 20 minutes before your first meal of the day, that has the exercise equivalent of an hour and a half in the gym after your second meal, which is lunch. So if you say, I don't got the time, I just solved it for you. If you say that, well, I got bad joints, I can't work out, I just solved it for you. I said, walk. You can walk, can't you? And if your knees are that bad, walk on a treadmill with a nice cushion deal. There's no excuse. Because what happens is, when you get your blood moving, it's unbelievable. I'll promise you, first of all, the weight will drop off you like you can't believe because you're burning calories from the night before because you're walking before you eat anything. You go out on an empty stomach. Okay? And then the pop. What's that? For those of you that are into health care, nurses, people like that, what's that endorphin thing when you know what I'm saying? It creates a positive high when you move your blood. Yeah, whatever that is. That's better than Red Bull, coffee, and all that stuff. Okay? And I'm telling you, you are awake and alert, and you're ready to attack the day if you do this first. Okay? And if this 6 to 8 doesn't work for you, well then it's 5:30 to 7:30 or it's 6:30 to 8:30. Just make it work. But you've got breakfast with your kids, the family, and you take your kids to school. You're full time. You got the privilege, use it. So you're not feeling guilty that you're going to be, working. From 8 to 10, it's head office follow-up emails, and that's it. You know how we start opening up the emails from our friends who have a job in their freaking cubicles, got nothing to do all day but send us freaking jokes all day long, and before you know it, 5 hours has gone by? Right? The computer is a time sucker, isn't it? Yes. Brutal. Facebook, this and that. Right? I took a dump today at 3 o'clock, just want to let you all know it. Okay? And so, 8 to 10 o'clock, you discipline yourself. I got these calls to make, I got stuff to do, I got a policy that fell off the books, something my guy didn't get paid on, credit for the contest didn't happen, something for the bonus didn't happen, and lots of stuff needs fixing. But you do all that between 8 and 10. No distractions. Don't answer the phone then. Just stay on it so you get that administrative stuff done. 10 to 2 was all recruit by day activities for me. Art Williams taught us recruit by day, sell by night. Recruit by day, sell by night. So my recruit by day was prospecting, which for me was calling my trainees list. Because they called their hot market, I called their warm market. They called their hot market, their best buddies. I called other people. Hey, you don't know me, but you know Jimmy, Jack, don't every time I'm calling. The company expanding in the area, we're looking for sharp people. Jimmy told me I should talk to you because you keep your options open for a different career. Just want to see if that's true. Yes, it is. Great. I book interviews. And I call my trainees. Hey, I got 2 guys coming for you this week. I got 2. How's that make me look? Am I really going to work for this guy? Aren't I? Absolutely. Right? Yep. Okay? Because you'll find that a trainee's got, to me, a window of about a 2-week window a trainee's got where they're really jacked and just like a puppy peeing everywhere. Right? Where they're all excited and they're fired up and they're doing stuff and they're bringing people and then something happens. And then you got, because somebody gets a hold of them or says something or something negative occurs and it bums them out. And if you're not in there helping with them, you lose them. So you can re-engage them by saying, well, hey man, it's okay. I know they had a rough one last night, but we got 2 guys coming tomorrow night. It could change everything. Let's go. Oh yeah, that's right. Okay, great. Okay? And so, like Daniel, I prospected for 2 weeks because I didn't have any trainees at one point in my career, and I had to go prospecting. The worst time of my life. Oh my God. I can't, for those of you that can prospect, I am so depressed. I couldn't. You know, sweat mark from here to here. But I did it, found a couple of people, they had more markets. Who's your best buddies? Let's go build a championship team, let's go show them business. Never had to do it again. And fought like hell to make sure I never had to do it again. Because I never would have made it in this thing if I had to constantly pull prospect. If you're sitting and go, well, I'll never make it because I've been prospecting for 2 years, that's because you've made it a career. Seriously, you can get into a bad rut in Primerica. You should, if you're prospecting right now and it has not produced a result, today you're changing. Today, when you get a prospecting name, you're going to follow up within 3 days, you're going to call them in here, and you're going to show them a business model that your intention is to blow their butt out of the water. Use video if you have to. You sell this, obviously you've got to be selling this differently than you have been to get the different results. Does that make sense?
Right.
Get yourself off autopilot and start being aware. Start selling this for what it was meant to do. I can't tell you what that is. You just got to push the envelope for yourself. Start saying things you never thought you'd say. I'll promise you, when you say things that are a little bit out there, your reaction's going to, I hope they don't clock me in the face, and then they go, you got a good point there. Yeah, that makes sense. And your reaction's like, oh shit, really? That's awesome. They liked it. You know, because I kept pushing myself, because obviously if I wasn't winning, I wasn't marketing this thing correctly. Okay? Especially if I was going, I'm talking to those of you that have lots of appointments not getting success. Those of you that don't have many appointments, your issue is not what you're saying, you're just not saying it to enough people. 2 to 4, home. 2 to 4, I was home. Okay? If I did this. If I was screwing off from 8 till 2 on the computer, I didn't do this. You with me? So if I did all this, this was when I prepped for my appointments that night. Because I came from a sports background, and on game day, I wasn't running around in traffic all day wearing my ass out. And I sure as heck wasn't envisioning failure that night. I had some quiet time every game day so that I could envision success in the game. I would see things working out. And some of you athletes know what I'm talking about. Do you do that here? Well, you should. Because most people approach Primerica like this. Okay, well, they run around all day, and they got to fix the car, and they got to do this, and they do a bit of that, and they're running around like chicken head cut off, and oh yeah, I got an appointment tonight. Oh, I hope they don't end up being an asshole like last night was. Well, guess what? They end up being a double asshole like last night was. Because we haven't envisioned things properly. We're not setting ourselves up properly. So not only do you have some envisioning time, but you prepare for your close if you didn't close on the first visit. Or if you are going that night and you want to close the first visit, you make sure the stuff's in order. If whatever you used to close with, whatever documents, are they in order? Did you go through them? Would you buy from this scenario? Have you got a backup plan? If you say how much too much is it, and the sale's $80 a month and they can't budget for it, so 65, you got it ready. You with me? Because you know them, you've got all their info. And so you just prepare so that 80% of the time you are closing recruits or sales. So you're ready, man. I see so many people, their trunk is a mess, it's their office, it's shit's everywhere, and they're digging out for crap and they're missing stuff. They go, I didn't get the close, I forgot this, or I forgot that, or I forgot I was going to a spot where there's no signal to a turbo, so I didn't bring a paper app with me. You got to prepare, right? Okay. And then from 4 to 6, dinner with your family and family time. And be where you are. Okay? Be where you are. One thing that pisses off wives more than anything was dads are in the room, but mentally they're somewhere else. Be where you are. This took a lot of work on my part. I'm not talking at you. I was guilty of all that because we want to win so bad, we want to help our families, and when you find yourself saying what 3 times to your wife, then you're somewhere else. You're somewhere else. Okay? Or your kids say, what? Hey, stop talking. Is your mind? No. You should, how was school, honey? What's happening? What happened in the classroom? What happened in the schoolyard? What happened at the gym after? How's things going? Well, here's what I want you to do. Will you go back to school tomorrow? No, you don't go kick Jimmy's ass. You do this. Right? And you coach him. Right? Meet the family. And guys, we got to have the big broad shoulders on this deal. Our families are counting on us, not just to provide money. Any bozo can go make money. I'm convinced of that. There's a lot of other things our families need, and for full-timers to be stressed out and feeling guilty they're not seeing their kids, bad time management. That's all it is. That's all it is. Okay? So work smarter. We would have dinner, and then we would take the kids to the park. And like a couple blocks away, get on the swings in the wintertime, push them down the hill in the sleds, whatever. Meet other families, right? 2 hours. That's an eternity. For a little kid. And had my time, back to the home, 6:30, on 2 or 3 appointments, back home, whenever. Heard someone say that if I was back at 10, it felt like a bad night. It's early. Usually coming home 11:30, 12, 12:30, right? And hoping Sandy's awake. She wouldn't be. Sometimes she would be. Honey, I got to talk about my night. Drooling. Right? And she said, well, that's awesome. I'm so proud of you. Right? Right? And it always seemed like when I had great news, she was asleep. When my night sucked, she was wide awake. And she wanted to know everything. Really? Well, they really liked me. Well, what do you mean they liked you? Did you get a sale? No. Did you get a recruit? No. Did you get referrals? No. Well, then they didn't like you too much. That didn't help. Does this help? Yes. Start using that. Let's go ahead again, guys. Look at that right there. Go back. The new comp says, here's why you want to be an RVP. You got a 120% contract. What's your RVP? Because you're all going to hit the bonus, right? It's only $10,000 a premium. I mean, you guys are doing that personally. Okay, so you're going to have a 120% contract when you get to RVP in this hierarchy, not 110. Everybody follow? Yes. So right now, if you're in the base shop and you're at 70 and you have an RL, how much do you override that RL by? 0. You're a 70, they're a 70. There's no override. You're on the same contract. When you go RVP, look at what you override the RL by now. 50% more than what you're currently getting. That's a district contract, and you're not on the sales. Isn't that crazy? Look what you override a division by. 60%. Look what you override a district by. 70%. Look what you override a senior rep by. 85. Look what you override a rep by. 95. Whoa. They make a sale, you get 95%. Maybe you could make some calls for them, huh? Right? Help them recruit, help them get their next promotion. Let me tie this into the... Daniel, is your hierarchy familiar with the company stock?
Yes.
At RVP?
Yep.
And you all know the numbers? $250 when a rep does 1,000 premium, $1,000 to the RVP in stock when a district does $2,500 of premium within 3 months of their promotion or on the month they do it. $3,000 when you have a division, do $5,000. $4,000 of stock when you have a regional leader, do $7,500. And when you promote an RVP that does at least $10,000 in their first 3 months, you get $15,000 of stock as the promoting RVP. So let's go those numbers again. A rep that does 1,000 of premium, a rep that just does 1,000 premium a month, the RVP gets $250 of stock. Don't sound like much, but if you got 10 of them doing it, it's $2,500 of stock, right? You got a district that does 2,500 premium, you get 1,000 of stock. You got 3 districts that do that, it's $3,000. You got 5 districts that do that, it's $5,000 for the month. You got a division that does $5,000, you get $3,000. So you get 2 divisions doing that at 6. You got 3 divisions doing $5,000 that month, you get $9,000. You got an RL that does 7,500, that's $4,000. You get 2 RLs that month, that's $8,000, so on and so forth. We have an RVP, Hermie Gamueda, who used to be a maid from the Philippines. In the last 12 months, because of these promotions, she's accumulated $103,000 of free stock. She used to be a maid. She makes $200,000 a year, and she just accumulated $100,000 of stock at today's price of $28. Addison's, this will go to 60. This is not a solicitation to buy stock, blah, 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 okay? Just in case any lawyers hear this. but the stock's going to 60. The plan isn't, all we have to do is just grow the field force a little bit, grow a little bit more RVPs, we'll get the stock going to 60. So that 100 grand's now worth 200 grand or $250,000 to her. For what? For doing what we're supposed to do anyway? Helping our people win? Is that crazy?
Yeah.
Okay, last month we promoted a first generation RVP. I got 15 grand. Now, it's those numbers times your QBI. So our QBI is pretty good because we do securities and it keeps the business on the books. So I got about 12 grand for doing that. And my direct RVP promoted an RVP. He got 12 grand for doing that. And then as the upline, I got 80% of also what he got from the company because they just put that in place last month as the direct RVP that has an RVP that promotes RVP. Your RVP gets their stock and then you get, depending on your contract level. I'm an SNSD, so we get 80%. NSDs get 60%. SVPs get a lesser amount, but it's encouraging people to grow and develop more RVPs. So what's 80% of 12 grand? I didn't even work it out. Huh? Huh? 9,600? So I got 12 grand plus, so I got 20,000 of stock from 2 RVP promotions in our hierarchy. Didn't come out of their pocket. As we keep producing RVPs, isn't it going to be fun around here? Everybody's building wealth. That's why it's so great you guys have high standards in here because your districts will be doing 2,500 the second they get their license and a district contract, right? They'll write 2,500 in a freaking week, right? If they're promoting themselves from senior rep to district on their own, the minute, if they do, let's say your guideline's 4 grand to do that, well, when you promote them that month to district, not only do they get the promotion, but you get the stock because they did 2,500 of the promoting month counts. It's unbelievable. So we're having celebrations now where people get, and I tell our people in the base shop this number because when they get to RVP, they're going to get the stock.
Right.
So make sure that you're selling this as a positive. Let's go to the next slide. I'm going to just make a quick case for replacement, how important it is just from our story. When we went to $1 million after 13 years, we had 550 agents, 12 direct RVPs. Of the 12 direct RVPs, none were personally prospected, recruited, and field trained by me. Did a lot of that, none of them survived. They all quit. Over the years, this was 13 years, okay, but they didn't survive. Of the 12 that I had direct at the time, 5 came through replacement, 7 came through others quitting, and they rolled up direct to me. So my message in this slide is replacement and people quitting is good. Right? If I had never given replacement, I could never take replacement.
Right.
And when I gave replacement, which was it was a sad time in my life because they were the people that had, I hope this comes out right, they had full sets of teeth and normal IQs, okay? I got there. It was like, we were new in the business, we recruited whoever would listen to us, and we had some sharp ones, and the sharp ones went in replacement, but you know what? It set in motion a system where what replacement does is it allows you as a 200 grand a year earner and 300 grand a year earner, when you promote RVP, you don't dump out your whole base shop, so now you're in the mall prospecting for new people. How would that look?
Right.
Hi. No, you prospect before RVP. Once you give replacement, you've set an internal recruiting and prospecting machine in motion, so you don't have to prospect no more. Because every time you promote RVP, you take replacement, work with them, get them to RVP. When they go to RVP, you take replacement, work with that replacement, they go to RVP. And then you take another replacement, you work with them, they go to RVP. That's how it works. That's how anyone who's gotten big has done it. Not by going out and personally prospecting for the rest of their life. You do it for 2 to 3 years and then you're done. Isn't that great? So all you give replacement, hallelujah. Now, you got to rebuild after replacement. So it takes you a year or 2 to get to RVP, you're prospecting building then. You prospect for another year after replacement to get things going again and you're done. 2 to 3 years, 3 to 4 years max. Does that help? Yeah. Let's flip the soy inch again. Let's go blow by that. I'll just leave that up there, go back. You know what? People can make money on a district contract. 12 KTs equals a month for a part-timer. Second career person, right? will lead to 8 FNAs, which lead to 5 life sales. 5 life sales under the company example of $83 a month is $1,600 cash after 75% advance, after policy fees, 1 debt settlement, 2 auto, not home, just 2 auto, and 10 grand invested in mutual funds on a district contract. $2,000. There should be no excuse for not making money here. It's not your contract, it's what you do with it, right?
Right.
Next one. I show this to people just so that this is a recruiting slide to me. After all this talk about RVP and stock and building wealth and how awesome it can be and a money machine that goes in place for your family, if they don't believe all that, fine. Get a license and go make a sale or two here because you're screwed without us, is what we say in a nice way. Okay? Here's why. If you want 30 grand a year coming in from your investments when you're 65 years old, which basically means you have to have $1 million saved. Because $1 million, like I said last night, is only 30 grand a year after 3% inflation, right? Well, if you're 30, you got to save $328 a month to get to the million. If you're 35, it's $467. If you're 40, it's $674. If you're 45, it's $913. And if you're 50, it's $1,500 a month. Well, if you're in this range, even if you're here, what family with a job can save that? None. So they have no choice but to be recruited here. So what we're doing is recruiting to the shortfall, aren't we?
Right.
So I'm sure you're doing that as well. Any other slides I got? Here, you can read that one. Okay? No excuses no more, right? Right. Okay, flip the slide again. Here's the more Christian version of that. Take which one you like best. I'll leave these slides here with Daniel. They both say the same thing, don't they? Yeah, they do. To me, they do. Anything else on there? All right, so are there any questions about anything that I covered or something I didn't cover that we could take 5 minutes on that maybe I can help you with? Don't be shy. And let me leave you with this. We got 2 choices. Every day we're faced with 2 choices. We can either choose to live or we can choose to exist. And you all have the ability to make a choice to live because you're in Primerica, right? You can live in a dream home or yours. You can live making 25 grand a month helping others. Make 100,000 a year. Or work 40, 60 hours a week at a job that only pays the bills and has a shelf life. You can build a team here so when new products and services come out, you're like Coca-Cola or McDonald's. You understand as you build your team, you build distribution, as the company is going to continue to come out with new products like this new debt product, instead of you having to worry about how it works, you'll have people figure that out. And then all of a sudden the income just go and explode. Let me give you an example. If Coca-Cola raised its cost of Coke by 1 cent per case, it would increase its profits by $45 million a year. Ain't that something? And they do. A little bit over time, and we just keep paying it. So isn't it going to be great to have business for ourselves like that? So as I leave you, what's the goal here, everybody? What's the goal? What are you trying to achieve? What are you trying to accomplish?
Help you.
Financial independence, freedom. Did anybody see RVP?
Yes.
To me, the goal is not RVP. It's SNSD. Because that's freedom. Because RVP, congratulations, but you own a job. And that, I'm not trying to sound defensive. You have a base shop that's dependent on you, and if you don't show up, you're screwed. Thank God you got one with all the RVPs. But you need to be on a mission to develop RVPs. Let me help you with this. This is the last thing I'll tell you. When Sandy and I were brand new, what enabled us to get to 400 grand a year in 5 years was everyone we talked to, even as trainees, we were talking to them about being an RVP. Okay? even though we weren't one yet. And that takes guts because you feel like you're inadequate, but you're not making stuff up. We never lied about our income, never lied about where we were at. You can't do that. People will catch you on that stuff. You can't do that. We just talked about where we were going. And other people we were following were going there too. And we knew of RVPs. You got great examples here of RVPs that are making it and making money. You keep pointing them till you got your own story. But everybody should know that they have a chance to be an RVP. Will everybody do it? No. But if you don't keep selling it out, like I was saying at the beginning of this talk, and tell them what's possible. And look, I didn't just talk to a new person about being an RVP. Remember I said there's RVPs in their list? I showed them when they're an RVP and they got 3 RVPs, they could make $500,000 a year. I know the company example says RVP with 3, which is an SVP, makes 300, but I'm sorry, the company lied to you. It's better than that. Okay? They just dummy the numbers down when compliance gets hold of it because they don't want to make it too unbelievable. But in the system you have, with the standards you have, when you get to senior vice president with 3 RVPs making over 100 grand, you will make $500,000 a year. Wow. And when you get to NSD, you will make $750,000 a year to $1 million a year. I was at NSD making 900 grand a year, and I think that's where you're at. You got the example right here. So, and then SNSD is multiples of millions of dollars a year. It's ridiculous. You may not want to go there. It's just going to happen once you get your first 3. Sorry. Your biggest challenge is you getting there and helping some other people get there. So let me just, last thing out of my mouth. Every time you talk to a new person, they look at you kind of goofy, like, why are you coaching me for? I'm sorry, I thought you wanted to be an RVP. My mistake. Why, just remind people that you're holding their feet to the fire because these are for big stakes. This isn't for penny ante poker. Make a little difference. This could change our family tree for generations to come. What do you tell you his business was worth last night? 8 to 10 million? That's can happen to every single person in this room. The hardest stuff he ever did was in his first few years. Now it makes it look easy. You know why? Because the system makes us all look good. Nobody gets recognized when you should in this company. You don't get recognized when you're doing hardly anything on a scoreboard, but you're very positive and you're building your muscle and you're giving it everything you got. And you're happy and you're giving to people and you did so many appointments and you did like only 3,000 in premium and you feel like blowing your brains out. You should have had 7 recruits and you got none. That's when you should be getting recognized, but you don't. You get recognized when it all starts clicking without you and people want to ask you, what did you do? And you go, I don't friggin' know. I was just, you didn't want to see me back there. It was ugly. So I appreciate y'all so much because I know what it takes to get through this thing, but I just want you to know you will get through it. And you just stay on it, and you know if it can happen to these folks here, it can happen to you. It really can. You just need to maybe watch a little closer and see how they handle certain situations, which you might not be handling them as well. That could be the difference maker. But this team I know is going to develop some incredible SNSDs, and I'm looking forward to being part of the ride. It's out there.
10 minutes I want to share with you. The first thing I want to talk about is obviously congratulations for being there last night. And for those of you who didn't put in the effort of really selling that out and promoting it, it's not too late for you to finish off this year so we can build some momentum going into 2012. So you really just need to get after it. For those of you who did, I'm sure you had some guests there last night. But you also invited a bunch of people that didn't show up. So the success seminar is over. What now? See, it's just beginning. The effort and energy that you invested is just beginning. Obviously, you got to follow up with all the people that showed up first. If you didn't already set some appointments with them, you need to do that today. And then you need to make sure you follow up with all those people that said they were coming and they didn't show. Hopefully, they're good people. They'll probably be a little apologetic, so a little bad they didn't come. It's going to be the easiest appointment for you to set. Okay, you're going to make sure you do that. Because it's just the success seminar effort and energy that you need to invest isn't over yet. You need to make sure that the money you invested with those tickets is with money investment and it's money well spent. Go make sure you get the most out of that. Promise? Okay. And then I just want to talk about making money. right? Who wants to make some money? Yeah, you can make money here, right? I think the thing that makes me most proud, besides seeing three, now we have 3 regional vice presidents, other people win and have a chance to do something great with their life, is our people are making money. We have this 13-year-old business. In the last couple of months, we were in the top 10 as far as base shop cash flow. Really, a majority of that's coming from the habanero team. And so that's what I'm most proud of, right? After 13 years, we're in the top 10 as far as our team, as far as cash flow, making money. And it's nice that we're making some money, but it's even better that our people are making money, because you know what? When people make money, they don't quit, right? You figure that one out. So these people aren't quitting, they're making money. And again, when I look at that habanero team, I'm investing a lot of time and energy with them. And, as far as and I really love the fact that Neil and Janice don't have big egos. They're okay that I sit with their people and I record my presentation. And some people, they'll kill you, right? Let your leaders help you. That's why they're there. Does that make sense? But I've told you many times. I'm talking to the RVPs now. This is what you need to do, right? Not for everyone, but for the people that are showing up, and if they're showing up, they want to win, okay? Sit down with them and make sure they have your kitchen table presentation on recording so they can go practice or rehearse that KT and then record the objections, the common ones you're going to hear. I don't have time to go through them today. The next time we get together, I'm going to go through exactly how to overcome those objections. But your RVP knows how to do it. Otherwise, they wouldn't be a regional vice president, right? So you need to make sure that you master your RVP's kitchen table presentation, and you master how he or she overcomes those objections. Because if you do those 2 things, and you get really great at those things, you can screw up a bunch of other things and still win here, right? Now again, I don't encourage you to screw up a bunch of other things, but those 2 things are critical. So on the kitchen table presentation, I want to talk about closing in 2 areas, okay? I want to talk about closing on the F&A. I don't think as a hierarchy we do a good enough job on closing the F&A. It's the thing that separates us from everybody else out there, and I think we need to be able to do that, right? So, you want to pull up that slide for me real quick? If you have it. Here's how, again, if you don't have it as part of your kitchen table presentation, I can encourage you to put this slide in there. Okay, because again, the F&A is the #1 recruiting tool that you have when you sit down with the family. And so the one thing and obviously it's really good for the client. If you came over to my house and you recruited me and you got me going, and then you didn't do a financial needs analysis for me and my family that shows me how to, and then I found out that's what we did, I don't like you, right? Because it's the thing that's really great for the client. That's one motivation why you should be doing it. But it's the #1 way you can recruit people. If you can't recruit people off of their goals and dreams, they're not for us. You don't want them. Does that make sense? So when we look at that, I'm going to share with you, here's how I close the F&A. And if you can go the last, few years, we're always on the top 25 in the company as far as the number of F&As we do, year in and year out. It's not luck. It's because we focus on it. And we make sure when we sit down with the client, we understand the importance of it. So it's real simple, right? So when you go through it, right, the problem on some of the clients, here's the problem. This is us in the middle, right, Alfred and Christine. And we're doing this with all kinds of different companies. You guys may have a mortgage, maybe some credit cards, maybe a car loan. You guys got some, maybe a savings account, a retirement plan. You got auto, home, and life insurance, some more credit cards, right? You guys are doing business in some of these areas, aren't you? Alfred and Christine, how educated are you in all these areas to make sure that you're getting the most for your money? How educated do you think most families are? So all we simply do, Alfred and Christine, is we look at all the areas that you're currently working with, and we're simply looking for areas that we can improve on. Let me give you an example. How much do you guys spend a month on your auto insurance? $120 a month? So let's say I rent an auto quote for you. We work with about 28 rated companies, right? I rent an auto quote for you. And you're paying $120. The lowest quote that popped up was $150. You're spending $120. My lowest quote was $150. What do you think I would suggest you do? Stay where you're at. I can't improve in that area, right? But if my quote came back, you're spending $120 and it ended up being $80, $40 a month less, what would you do at that point? Then I would ask for that bid. That would make sense. See, that's the beauty of what we do, right? We look at all the areas that you work with, and only if we can improve will we ask for your business. If we can't improve, you're going to stay where you're at. Is that fair? Now, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 to 10, 10 being the highest, how would you rate your desire to become debt-free and financially independent? See, when you told me, Frank, it's a 10, you know what I heard? It's important. Okay, if you asked 100 families that question, Alfred and Christine, how many would say it's a 10, it's important? All of them, right? Now, my next question to you is, do you have a written game plan that shows you exactly how to do that, right? Because earlier you told me you want to retire at 55, you want to send your kids to college, you want to pay off your debt. Do you guys have a written game plan that shows you step by step on how to accomplish all those goals? Those 100 families who all said it was a 10, they all told you it was important, right? How many of those 100 families are also going to say they don't have a written game plan as well? So everybody says important. On a scale of 1 to 10, they say it's a 10, and no one has a plan. Right? Would you agree with that? So now, if I was willing to take the time, right, I was willing to take the time to put together a plan for you that's going to show you how to accomplish all those goals. Retirement, college for your kids, pay off your bills, pay off your debt. And there was no cost involved, Alfred and Christine, to explore that opportunity and how I can help you accomplish all those goals. Right? What would stop you from taking advantage of that? Now, those other 100 families that all said it was a 10 and all said they didn't have one, right? How many of those families would take advantage of it if I was willing to take the time and energy at no cost to explore those possibilities? Out of 100 families, how many would take advantage? Great, I'm going to help you with that tonight. Right? So they closed it, didn't they? Out of 100 people, they said, how many were going to say it was a 10? They said that, right? Out of 100 people, how many don't have a game plan? They said. And if I was willing to take the time and put together a plan that was going to show them how to accomplish all their goals, how many of them would take advantage of that? Great, I'm going to help you with that tonight. They closed it, right? Do an F&A with every client. It's the easiest way to recruit people. When I look at the F&A, I look at, again, if I don't recruit you and protect you this first night, okay, when I come back, Alfred and Christine, okay, by the way, before I leave the house, if I don't protect you tonight, and I try to close you, I'm not going to push you to do it tonight. If I can't close you in my first few attempts, I'm just going to focus on what? The F&A. And then I'm going to, if I can't recruit you tonight, then I'm not going to push you to recruit you tonight. I'm going to come back and recruit you off of. Okay, so now I come back with your F&A and I show you, hey, look, here's how much you need every month to accomplish all the things you want. College, retirement, pay off the house. You guys need an extra, $1,400 a month. What's the likelihood you get that pay raise at work right now, Alfred? Not going to happen? So we got two choices tonight. Okay, guys? You're either going to give up on your goals and dreams, you're going to have to eliminate some, stretch some way out, or you're going to go after them. What do you want to do? Because, right, best thing I can offer you, come work with me part-time. Let me help you make that extra $1,400 a month working with me part-time so that you guys get to accomplish the goals and dreams you have for your family. Would you guys be interested in allowing me to help you do that? So that's exactly how you get the F&A, and that's exactly how you go back and recruit them off of their goals and dreams. Now, the last thing I'll do is that here's how I close them, okay? Now, obviously, I did that, right? But now I'm going to close them on if you can't close people on this, you don't want them. Okay, now again, Mark said it too, and I'm 89% of your business needs to be married couples with children, okay? You don't have to be married with kids, but you got to focus on building your business with married with kids. We're just more serious when we got kids. Would you agree? Okay. So here's my close. I'm closing you to recruit you. Alfred and Christine, right? I know you talked about how important your kids are to you. So let me ask you, Alfred and Christine, what would it be worth to you to have unlimited amount of time with your kids? What I'm talking about is getting up in the morning and having breakfast with your children. Okay, everyone. Okay, taking them to school. Being involved in their lives as they're growing up. I'm talking about those field trips, right? Those kindergarten, first, second, third grade field trips. Going on those field trips with the kids. Being a room dad, Alfred. Well, you're going to spend time in the classroom with the kids. And you're going to be involved, Christine, in your kids' lives as they're growing up. Whatever activities they decide to get in, you're going to be a part of that. You're going to just be a part of their lives as they're growing up. Right? Alfred and Christine, what would that be worth to you? Right, Christine, what would that be worth to you? It'd be worth everything. So let me ask you, right, what would you guys be willing to do to accomplish that lifestyle, to accomplish that time with your kids? What would you be willing to do? Anything. Great. Would you allow me to help you do that? Because I'm willing to help you do it. So if I was willing to help you do that, create that time with your family, right? And I was willing to coach and train you and mentor you. Any reason why you, logical reason why you wouldn't want to give it a shot on a part-time basis. Welcome aboard. I'm really excited about working with you, right? And that's how I close. That's how we. And the one thing that I'm really proud of that I have. The new people are more coachable than the old people. You figured that one out? I love our old teams, but they're just not as coachable as the new team. Right now, I hope they see what happens when they're coachable, because what I did is I recorded my kitchen table, I recorded the objections, and they obviously all know how to close and make money, because they did it just like I do it, right? And that's just one page of we have a 6-page presentation, and one thing that I will teach you is that you need to master that kitchen table where you can get it done in 15, 20 minutes without feedback. Okay, if your kitchen table is taken, when you're recording it, by the way, I suggest you do that too, record your own self doing it. If it's taken more than 20 minutes without being in front of a client, getting the feedback, you're taking way too long. You're not going to have enough time to do what you're there for, which is recruit and make some money. So you need to shorten it and keep it simple, but I just wanted to share hopefully a couple tips with you that'll help you. Let's give it up to the awesome Daniel Alonzo.
Always bringing big value and always bringing some good stuff. So appreciate it, Frank. All right, guys, we're gonna kind of let you guys out. I'm gonna let you out early today, 2 minutes early today. All right. But again, I want to thank you, everybody that was there last night. I feel like we're so lucky. I know we always talk about, you got to make your own luck and you got to work hard and you got to stay focused and disciplined and things will happen. And that's kind of what happened last night. I mean, some of you guys that are on my Facebook, I think Facebook is an incredible tool, by the way, to help you build your business and stay consistent in your business. Of course, you guys don't know when I take a dump, and nor do I let anybody in on that information. So I don't use my Facebook like that, okay? And nor do I think you should use your Facebook like that. I think you should use your Facebook like a website. What would you put on, if you had a professional website, what would you put on that professional website? Facebook is a tool to help inspire other people. I also, obviously, you guys know I believe in the secret, and I believe that the more good things you put out there, the more good you're going to get back. So I believe, I'm a big believer. Now, with this hearsay thing, pretty soon it's going to be available to everybody. Right now it's just available to RVPs. It's called Hearsay. And what's nice about it is I literally spend an hour a month setting up my Facebook. I basically set up every day. I put some sort of quote or some sort of picture or some sort of whatever, and I set it up one time. Right? It takes me about a half an hour, maybe an hour, if I'm looking at more stuff. And then I set it up so every single day it automatically posts stuff for me. So I don't have to go in there. Like you guys think I'm on there every day because I have a post every day. That's not true. I set it up. It automatically posts my little quotes and pictures and different stuff. I've already pre-programmed it in there. You can do that. Okay? You can do that now as an RVP. Just got to contact Primerica and they'll set you up on that. But I think it's an incredible tool. Pretty soon, though, it'll be available to everybody. I'm on the social media working group. I think social media is the wave of the future. It's not getting smaller. It's only going to get bigger. And social media is about networking, and we are in the networking business. We're networking to the world. And the other thing, the other reason why it's important is because you should always be thinking, I mean, we're all business owners in here, right or wrong, right? We're not employees. We're not trying to, build business for our upline. We're trying to build a business for ourselves and our businesses and our families. And what's important when you become a business owner and you start thinking like a business owner, it's important that you start thinking about branding. Do you know what branding means? Okay, some of you guys might know what branding means, and if you do, you should start using that for your life. Okay, you need to start branding yourself. I mean, you guys have no idea how many opportunities have come my way because I've spent the last, 12 years, 12 of the 16 years probably at least, maybe even longer, maybe all 16 years, branding myself. and making sure that, number one, I worked really, really hard so I can create a story. Okay, it's, you know, when I go speak all over the country, just got back from Seattle, Washington, and a couple of weeks before that I was in Canada. And when I go around and I speak, the one thing they always want me to talk about is the story, is the run, the 5-year run. Everybody, Evelyn, wants me to talk about that. And of course, all of you guys have already heard that already. But the reason why they want me to talk about that is because that's inspiring. So early in the business, like some of you guys that are kind of newer in the business, if I were you, I'd be thinking, I'm going to start branding myself right now. I'm going to start building my story right now. I'm going to get a lot of results very quickly so that it creates a buzz, so it creates an excitement, so it creates a story, right? Isn't that what everybody wants to hear about, is something motivating, is something inspiring? You know, now look, so some people in this room, maybe they haven't had, you know, major success, or maybe they went through some tough times or whatever. You know, well, the great thing about Primerica is really forgiving. You know why? Because you can start over every day. And Primerica likes to talk in terms of ratios. Like, you watch right now, if Rhonda and Tanya keep doing what they're doing, they're going to be one of the biggest sensations at the convention. Not because they're making $1 million, but because they took their business and grew it by thousands of %. Okay, and so the great thing of Primerica, I mean, you're gonna see Frank and Irma being paraded across stage, getting awesome, incredible awards, not because they're making millions of dollars, but because they grew their business so rapidly. You saw a rapid increase. If you want to get recognized at the convention, you need to start growing right now. You need to start creating rapid increase. Now, what does that do for your business? That creates a story. And look, last year I was making this. This year I'm making this. Are you guys following me?
Yes.
So you get to reinvent yourself every day. You get to create, like, if I'm Chris and Lori, right? They don't have a big team right now. Either did we. When we went RVP, we gave up 30, 40 people on our team. We gave up in replacement. My replacement was the #1 regional leader in the entire country, just like yours is. Okay? So our regional leader, now our premiums were a lot smaller back then, wouldn't do as much premium as him, but they were still, at the time, you know, for the time, they were doing amazing. And so, but the point I'm trying to make is what I did from that is we went and grew really fast and got to $100,000 really, really fast. And we did that because we knew that the first 3, 4, 5 years of us being an RVP, we could never do that again. Does that make sense? You can never redo that again. So that's why it's so important to make. Frank Beltran made $100,000 6 months out the gate, RVP. That's what I did. That's what a lot of these guys did on the wall. So you got to do that to create your story and to create what? Your brand. You guys with me here? Okay, so talking about Facebook, Facebook is there for you to inspire the world. Right? And by the way, you know, every single day, you guys saw my Facebook, every day I was putting on there success seminar, success seminar, success seminar. Are you your own Don King? Are you your best promoter? Or are you waiting for somebody else to promote you? You should promote you. You got to be the most excited about your business. I know that it feels weird. It does feel weird. Because you feel like, well, I don't want to self-promote myself. And what would people think about me if I say great things about myself, or say that we're doing really well, or say that our team rocks and we're kicking everybody's out? What are people going to think? Who cares about what anybody thinks? This is your business. Primerica's not going to put on commercials to advertise for you. You have to advertise for yourself, don't you? Yes. So you got to be proud of your business, proud of Primerica, proud of yourself, and be your dang biggest promoter there is. And when they start talking, because people start talking, when they start, you know, whining and complaining about you and, oh, you're this and that and whatever, who cares? Those people probably won't be in business 5 years from now anyways. all the talkers, all the complainers, all the whiners, all the negative people, they all die out eventually, right? Just like young girls never make it in Primerica, okay? So, did I already tell you guys that already? All right, young girls never make it in Primerica. So, but other than that, because they always quit. Young girls, they always quit in Primerica. Definitely. Young guys too, they usually don't make it. But anyway, my point is this. My point is this: is that it's your job to create the story, to build the brand, to inspire the masses that are ultimately going to be your champions up on the wall. And that's all we should be thinking about. Every day I got up, I just wanted to produce more successful people. And you know what? Some people I overrode, some people I didn't override. But I felt like good things were going to happen to me if you just kept trying to help enough other people get what they want. Does that make sense, guys? So, hey, look, again, amazing, amazing event, amazing couple days. Get ready. The next one is going to be even better. All right? Have a great day.